Hey, what's up? It's Cute What If this side. Today we will be seeing, what if Deku had a twin? Now before we move ahead with the fic, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for future what ifs like this. Another day, another adventure. Izumi was arriving at UA, still thinking about what happened the other day. I almost revealed the secret of One for All. Adenajikun unintentionally saved the secret. I need to be more careful about that. The good side is that I now have an excuse to tell. By the time she arrived at the UA, it was invaded by reporters. She could see some of her friends being interviewed. What can you tell us about All Might lessons? A reporter suddenly appeared beside her and started asking her questions. A2 need to go, she said to escape from the reporter. The rest of her friends were in a similar position. What can you tell us about All Might lessons? A reporter asked to Uraraka. All Might, he is really muscular. What can you tell us about All Might lessons? Another reporter asked to Ida. He has made me especially aware that I am truly enrolled in the best educational institution. We students have already been able to see not only his dignity and personality, but other aspects, such as his humor. In this way, by seeing one of the best heroes directly, we can also learn what it takes to be one. He likes to speak a lot. What can you tell us about All Might lessons? Another reporter asked to Yamikumo, who was accompanied by Kinoko. Sorry, we are from the business class. The reporters lose interest on them and let them pass. What can you tell us about? You look tired. Are you okay? Asked a reporter to Eraserhead. He is working. You are obstructing the entrance to the students. Please go away. Eraserhead said while trying to make the reporters go away. One moment please, we want to know about All Might, a reporter said while getting close to the UAS gate. Suddenly, a metal door emerged and blocked the gates, preventing the reporter from entering the school. What is this? It's UAS barrier, or at least that's how we named it. If you try to go through that gate without a student or teacher ID, the security system activates. What's wrong with them? We just want a quick interview with All Might. While the reporters were complaining, a figure was staring at the barrier. 1A classroom. You all did a good job in the battle training. I was able to see the videos and scores. Aizawa said to the class. Bakugo, stop acting like a brat. You have talent, you just need to take advantage of it. Understood, Bakugo replied. Midoriya, you injured your arm again. You can't keep going like this. Yes, Izumi replied. Todoroki, it's okay to have confidence with your abilities. Even so, do not overconfidence. You thought you would finish quickly, and thanks to that you were easily defeated. Todoroki didn't answer, he just stared at Aizawa. Moving on to other matters. Sorry if this is too fast, but another test that was everyone's thoughts. You will have to choose the class president. I want to be the president, said Kirishima. My rule will be that all girls wear the skirt 30 centimeters above the knee, said the small guy, Mainta. I am ideal for that position, said the French-looking guy. Ayama. I'll be the leader, said Mina. Shut up extras, I'll be the one in charge, Bakugo screamed. Enough, Ida interrupted. This is a job that carries great responsibilities. Wanting to be doesn't mean you can. I propose that we decide this through votes. It is too early to know whether or not we trust someone. Also, everyone could vote for themselves, said Kirishima. Precisely, the most voted person will be the ideal for the position. Ida replied, then turned at Aizawa. Is that okay with you, Professor? As long as you decide in time, do it however you want. At the end of the voting and the votes were counted, in front of the classroom were standing Yamikumo and Momo. So, it looks like Adenagi is the president with 4 votes and Yaoyorozu is the vice president with 3. How did I manage to get 4 votes? Yamikumo thought. He then saw Kinoko smirking at him. Of course, only 1 vote. I'm glad to think that at least I seem worthy to one person. That means that you didn't vote for yourself, Ida. You finished good. Does anybody have something to say? Aizawa asked. Yamikumo raised a hand. Yes. Can I quit? He said, surprising everyone. Whatever, just choose your replacement, but do it fast. Aizawa answered. Since I voted for him, I choose Ada. Are you sure of this, Adenajikun? Sure. I didn't want the position anyways. Then, I'll do my best, Ida said with slight happiness. At the cafeteria. Are you sure you don't want to be the class president, Adenajikun? Asked Ida. Yeah, sure. I didn't want the position anyways, said Yamikumo while reading a book. I see, if you had told me that I would not have voted for you. So, it was you. I know Kinoko voted for me as well. Who else voted for me? 2 did, said Izumi. Me too, said Kaminari. I should have guessed, said Yamikumo while returning to his reading. Still, are you sure that I'm the most capable for the position? Asked Ida. Of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't have voted for you, said Yamikumo without taking his eyes off his book. Then I will do my best to live up to your trust. Wow, Ida, you are so formal, said Mina. True. Are you from a rich family? Asked Uraraka. I tried to hide it by changing my form of talking. My family has been a family of heroes for generations. Answered. Right. I wanted to ask you, are you related to Ingenium in some way? Your quirk is similar to his. Asked Yamikumo, drawing everyone's attention. Yes, he is my brother. He is a beloved hero who guides people and respects order and discipline. I intend to become a hero like my brother, said Ida. Suddenly an alarm started to sound. Security breach level 3 reached. All the students evacuate the place and go outside immediately. Everyone started to run at the exit. The group was about to do the same, but Yamikumo stopped them. Calm down for a second, said Yamikumo while still seated and reading his book. Adenage-kun, we must evacuate. You heard the alarm and the announcement. Yes, I know, he said while standing up and saving his book. But if we all try to evacuate at the same time, he said, and a lot of noises drew the group's attention, seeing the rest of the students stuck in the corridor. That will happen. I see. We must remain calm even during an emergency. You are truly amazing, Adenage-kun, said Ada. Now would ask Uraraka. Considering that we cannot leave until everyone calms down, we should look for the source of the problem, Yamikumo said while getting close to the window. The rest of the group followed him. Look over there, it's just the news reporters, said Kaminari to the rest. Good, now we must inform this to the rest of the students. We need someone to call the attention and explain everything, said Ida. Then everyone turned at him. What, you want me to do it? You are the class president. It's your time to show that you deserve that position, said Yamikumo. Right. We need a high place to draw everyone's attention. I know what to do, said Yamikumo, then turned at Uraraka. Uraraka, make Ada weightless. Yes, Uraraka used her quirk on Ada. He started to feel weird. Good. Now, don't move, Ada, said Yamikumo. They used his telekinesis to put Ada above the exit sign. Everyone listen to me, everything's okay, it's just the media, there is no need to panic, Ada shouted to the students. Everyone drew their attention to him, and after hearing his words, they calmed down. A few simple reporters could do this, a teacher said. All the teachers were reunited in the gates, which were destroyed. Maybe someone prompted them to do it, Nezu said. Could it be that someone evil entered, or was it his intention to declare war on us? A new day has come, and Class 1A was preparing for a special class. Today we are having a special class. Me, All Might, and someone else will be supervising the class. Aizawa said to the class. Excuse me, what are we doing today? You will learn how to act in disasters such as floods and many more. We will have a rescue practice. Today's gonna be a rough day again. Huh, said Kaminari. What are you saying? This is our job as heroes. I am more than ready, said Kirishima. On this occasion, each person will have to decide whether or not to use their suit. Perhaps there are costumes that limit your activities in the middle of practice. Aizawa started explaining. The practice site is a bit far away, so we will take the bus. That is all. Begin your preparations. All the Class 1A was ready to get inside the bus. Deku-chan, you are wearing the gym uniform instead of your hero costume, Uraraka said to Izumi. Yes. My costume was destroyed in the battle training, so I have to use the gym uniform until they finish repairing it. Okay everyone, we will get on the bus in an orderly manner. Line up in 2 lines based on your class number. Ada started ordering the rest of the class. Inside the bus was of this type, damn it, said a depressed Ada. Everyone was laughing at this. I usually say what I have in mind, Midoriya-chan said Tsuyu. Yaiza Suisan, I noticed that your quirk is similar to All Might's. What are really I didn't. Wait, Tsuyu-chan. All Might doesn't injure himself, said Kirishima, but your quirk is very cool, and you can do many things with it. Unlike my hardening, it is really useful in battle, but is very simple. To think that your quirk is really awesome, perfect for a pro, said Izumi, making Kirishima blush a little and smile. Pro level, my naval laser is so flashy and strong that it reaches the level of a pro, said Aoyama. Yes, but the stomach aches aren't really nice, said Mina, making Aoyama depressed. If we are talking about powerful quirks, we cannot pass up the quirks of Bakugo, Todoroki and Atanagi, said Tsuyu while pointing at the mentioned trio. Bakugo and Todoroki stared at her while Yamikumo let say that his attention was in his book rather than anything else. But Bakugo is always angry, and Todoroki is antisocial, so I think they'll never be popular. What did you say, Frog? Do you want to fight? Bakugo screamed at Tsuyu while Todoroki only glared at her. Despite knowing each other for a short time, we all know your character, Bakugo, said Kaminari, making fun of Bakugo. They are making fun of Kachin, I can't believe it, Izumi thought. What a vulgar conversation, said Momo. I don't know, it's kind of funny, said Uraraka. Get ready everyone, we are almost there, said Aizawa, drawing everyone's attention. USJ. Incredible, it's like the USJ. All kinds of disasters and accidents are simulated here, said a pro hero. Her costume consists of a white space suit design using what appears to be a puffy jacket instead of an actual suit, a black helmet with white eyes, and a pair of yellow boots. It was the Pro Hero 13. This is the practice place that I built. Its name is Unforeseen Simulation Joint, or USJ for short. It actually is USJ, everyone thought. I can't believe it, it's 13, said Izumi with stars in her eyes. I love 13, said Uraraka. 13. Where's All Might? Aizawa asked to the hero. He run out of time. 13 answered, raising 3 fingers. The price for the irrationality anyway, let's begin. 3 fingers, does that mean that All Might reached his time limit? Izumi thought when she saw 13's fingers. All Might ran out of time, too bad, but doesn't matter, it's not like some villains would attack. Yamikumo thought if only he knew. Before starting I have one thing to say, or maybe 2 or 3. 13 started. As you may know, my quirk black hole can absorb anything and turn it into dust. I can help a lot of people with it, but this power can also easily kill people. I can imagine that there's someone with a quirk like mine in your group. In this practice you will learn how to use your quirks to save people. 13 is really amazing, said Uraraka. Now continuing with the class, Aizawa started. At this moment Yamikumo's senses began to warn him. He turned at the direction he felt and saw a black portal opening. He also noticed that Aizawa noticed this as well. Everyone stay together and don't move. 13 Protect the students, Aizawa ordered. Is this like the entrance exam? Did we already start? Asked Kirishima. Don't move, those are real villains, screamed Aizawa while putting his goggles on. From the portals emerged a lot of villains, but the most important were the one who created the portal. It looked like a mist. The other was a giant, muscular bird-looking man. Lastly, the third one is a slim man with pale skin, tinged yellow teeth, and wrinkled a great deal around his eyes. His lips are chapped and uneven, a small mole on the right underneath, with visible scars on his right eye and under his lip. He has messy grayish-blue hair of varying lengths, the longest clumps reaching to about his shoulders, left hanging over his face in uneven waves. His eyes and mouth are normally obscured. He sports 14 embalmed hands, all positioned so they're holding onto him onto different parts of his body. Only 13 and Eraserhead in the studies program. It was written that All Might was going to be here as well, said the mist villain. Where is he? Even though I brought all of these people, at the end All Might isn't even here. I wonder, will he come if we kill some students? The hand villain said while scratching his neck. Villains, here. What about the censors? Asked Momo. Maybe they only appeared in here. Think about it. The gate incident, they could have used it to steal some of our schedules, so they know when and where to attack, answered Yamikumo. And they must have someone that is jamming our communications and sensors, said 13. 13 Start to evacuate Kaminari. Try using your quirk to contact the school. Are you planning to fight them by yourself, Sensei? They are too many, even for you, said Yamikumo. Of all those present, you more than anyone should know that a hero not only has one trick. Do you need any help? Protect your classmates. You're the best from all the students. I'm counting on you to keep the safe. Understood. Give them hell, Sensei. After this exchange, Eraserhead charged against the group of villains. Some of them tried to shoot him with their quirks, but he quickly erased them, to their confusion, then trapped them with his bandages and disabled them. Idiots, that's Eraserhead. He can erase your quirks, said a villain. Erase? How can you erase mutant quirks like mine? Said another villain while trying to attack Eraserhead. No, I can't, but Eraserhead quickly wrapped the villain with his bandages. Quirks like yours, he launched the villain against the rest, are usually combat-oriented. With the students, incredible Izuku-sensei can handle a large number of enemies. Izumi started analyzing. Midoriya, now is not the time to analyze, we have to evacuate, said Ida. But before the group could escape, a black mist appeared in front of them, revealing to be another villain. Shit. I blink once and the one that seems the most dangerous escapes, thought Eraserhead from his position. Hello, we are the League of Villains. We came here to accomplish our objective. We wish to kill the symbol of peace, All Might, said the mist villain. My job is to torture all of you until All Might arrives. Before the mist villain could finish his speech, Kirishima and Bakugo attacked him. When the dust cleared, the villain seemed unharmed. You are strong. You must be the golden eggs of the UA, said the villain. You two get out of there, screamed 13. My job is to scatter all of you, said the villain while using his quirk to teleport the students to the different parts of the USJ. Ada and Shoji managed to save some of their classmates. Flood zone. Izumi emerged from the portal and fell inside the water. The flood zone, that mist villain's quirk must be some kind of teleportation. And what about killing All Might? What's going on? Her thoughts were interrupted by a villain who was looking at her. The first prey is here, said the villain. Then opened his mouth and showed his sharp teeth. I don't have anything against you, girl, but you now die. Before the villain could bite her, he was kicked in the face by Tsuyu, who was carrying Maito with her, then used her tongue to grab Izumi, then jumped outside the water and landed in the boat that was in the middle of the zone. Thanks, Asuo-san, said Izumi. Call me Tsuyu-chan. Anyways, the situation got complicated, right? Replied the frog girl. Tsuyu Asui. Quirk frog. Tsuyu's quirk gives her a frog's physiology and allows her to do anything a frog can. Adenejikun was right. They knew our schedule. They were waiting for an opportunity, Izumi said. But they can't kill All Might, Minda said in a worried tone. Mind-techin. They wouldn't have attacked if they weren't sure they could kill All Might, said Tsuyu. What, you have to be kidding? What are supposed to do? I can't believe my luck. I'm alone with two girls and I can't do anything. Both girls stared at him with both worry and disgust. I wonder how the others are doing. In the building zone, Bakugo and Kirishima were facing some villains. In the landslide zone, Momo, Gyro and Kaminari were defending themselves against some villains, and in the fire zone, two villains fell to the floor. Kinoko and Yamikumo were back-to-back with most of the villains assigned in this zone unconscious in the floor. So, this is how you felt in the QHC assault? Asked Kinoko to Yamikumo. Nah, this is easier than the QHC. These villains are really weak. It seems that whoever in charge, he preferred quantity over quality. Big mistake, answered Yamikumo while knocking down another villain. True. They aren't really smart either. They send you to the fire zone. They obviously don't know our quirks. Good intuition. We now need to discover their plan, and I'm seeing the perfect subject, Yamikumo said while throwing a fire at the last villain. He then got closer to the villain and drew his katana. You don't want to see this. Kinoko faced the opposite direction. Stop it, I'll talk. Just stop. She could hear the villain scream. Kinoko turned again only to see Yamikumo saving his katana, and the villain shaking in fear. Start speaking, Yamikumo said. Yais. The man in charge is the one with the hands in his body. His name is Tamura Shigaraki, the mist guy. Kirigiri, if I recall, is the second in command. They recruited us to kill All Might, How even with all the villains in here you wouldn't stand a chance against All Might and Eraserhead Toadster unless he then remembered the bird-looking monster. The bird-looking thing, what is that? It's called nomu, that is the real weapon against All Might. They say that is designed to specifically kill him. But I don't know how and that's all I know. Appreciate, said Yamikumo before knocking him out. That was something. Designed to kill All Might, that's crazy, said Kinoko. No at all. If it was designed, probably his strength isn't natural. Mutation, no, it won't be powerful enough. Experiments probably, but it would take a lot of time to prepare something like this. Quirks, yes. He then turned to Kinoko. That thing probably has multiple quirks. Maybe by experiments they managed to implant multiple quirks in that thing. Sometimes I forget how smart you are. But if that's true, how many quirks does that thing could have? Unknown, but I can think in some of them. If they want to face All Might, they need a good defense from All Might's punches. Probably a shock absorption or nullification quirk. If it's absorption, it would be easier. Just hit the same spot until the quirk reach its limits. If it's nullification, well, problematic. Next, it needs strength and speed. Probably a strengthen and speed quirk. Other than that, it could have anything. Kinoko was speechless. That was a lot to process. So what do we do now? I suggest go to the center, help Izumi-sensei, deliver information about the nomu, regroup with others. Fine by me. Let's go. Flood zone. At the same time. Fight. How are we fighting against some villains that can kill All Might? Maita started screaming again. We don't have any other choice. But I've been thinking. They send you, Asutsuyuchin, here, at the flood zone. That means that probably they don't know our quirks, said Izumi. You are right. If they knew my quirk, they would send me to the fire zone. We need a strategy. Tell me your quirks. My quirk is called Frog. I can do basically anything that a frog can. My quirk is Pop Off. My hair can adhere to any surface except me. Depending on my condition, they can stay stuck for up to a day. Okay, I can think of something. Give me a sec. Before Izumi could finish, the boat was starting to get destroyed by the attacks from the villains. They are breaking the boat, said Tsuyu. We need to go. Mina, throw your ass at the water, Izumi said. Mina did what she told him. Come on, Izumi, you can do it. Be brave like Adenajikun. She gathered the necessary confidence and then, with a battle cry, jumped towards the enemy. Imagine the egg on the microwave. I just need the attack reaching the water. Delaware, she prepared her middle finger. Smash, she unleashed a big blast of air from her finger into the water. Tsuyu then grabbed her with her tongue and carried Mina while he was still throwing some S. The water started absorbing all the villains, and thanks to Mitas they couldn't escape. Finally the water converged in the center again, making a huge splash of water. We defeated our challenge. You guys are amazing, said Tsuyu while carrying Minta and Izumi away from the zone. By the time they arrived the center, they could see a horrible picture. Their teacher was being massacred by the bird-looking monster. They were too scared to think and unaware that there was someone else watching this. With Yamikumo and Kinoko. Yamikumo and Kinoko were hidden behind some bushes. They watched almost everything, and Yamikumo had enough. He needs to save Eraserhead. If he doesn't do something, Eraserhead could die, but what to do? After thinking about it, he could only see one solution. Kinoko was going to hate him for this. Kinoko-san, I have an idea. Yes, what is it? I'll distract them while you take Izumi-sensei to somewhere safe. What are you, crazy? You will die. If I don't do something, Eraserhead will die, and without him the morality of the class will decay and more can die. There must be something else to do. No other options. If we don't act now, it would be worse. Please. Okay, but you better survive this, Kinoko said with tears falling from her eyes. Yamikumo remained silent for a few seconds. On my signal, grab Izumi-sensei and run away. With the villains. As you can see, Eraserhead, I'm not the final boss. He is Shigaraki, said to an injured Eraserhead. Then Kurogiri appeared at Shigaraki's side. Kurogiri, did you kill 13? No, but I put her out of commission. Unfortunately, a student managed to escape. Kurogiri, if you weren't our escape route, I would have killed you. Fine, reinforcements are in the way, we must go. He then turned at the group of Midoriya, Tsuyu and Maita. But, before of that he didn't finish because he heard something. He turned and saw Yamikumo in the air. Yamikumo throwed some 2 fires at 2 villains that were at Shigaraki's side, then landed on his feet and unleashed a big fire blast against Shigaraki, making a big explosion. When the smoke cleared, it revealed that the nomu protected Shigaraki from the blast, leaving Aizawa alone. Kinoko, now after this, Kinoko grabbed Aizawa and, using her quirk, jumped away from the enemy. He then saw the group of Midoriya. You 3 help her take Izumi-sensei somewhere safe. I'll hold them up, Yamikumo shouted at them while knocking down 2 more villains. Tsuyu and Mina quickly followed Kinoko, but Izumi stayed behind. Adenajikun, are you sure about this? Don't worry, said Yamikumo while drawing his katana and setting his left arm in fire. I've faced powerful villains before. He smiled at her. Izumi followed the rest. Look, Kurogiri, we have a brave one. You really want to fight? Ha, very well, I'll have fun with you. Nomu, attack him. The nomu charged at Yamikumo, and he did the same. When they were about to clash, Yamikumo used his fire to pass above the nomu, and locate himself at the nomu's back and shoot some fire at the nomu's back. The nomu turned at him. Yamikumo quickly tried to slash him in the, but it didn't do any damage. Haha, you can't damage my nomu, he has shock absorption. But not only that, he has more than one quirk. He was created to defeat All Might. laughed Shigaraki. My theory was right after all. Shock absorption, that means that my katana is useless in this fight. I have to depend solely on my fire. Yamikumo took several steps back, then released a large amount of fire towards the nomu. Unsurprisingly, the nomu seemed unharmed. Didn't you hear, kid? You can't damage my nomu. You better take another look, answered Yamikumo. Shigaraki looked at the nomu, and for his surprise, the nomu had some burn injuries. How it has shock absorption. And what about the regeneration? Why isn't working? Regeneration, yes. He might absorb the hit but not the heat the fire can burn, and is not a physical attack, and for the regeneration part, burned cells cannot be regenerated. He finished unleashing another fire attack, this time making the nomu back down. Nomu stopped playing around and kill, and the nomu unleashed a roar, and with a swing the fire was destroyed. Then, with an incredibly speed, the nomu charged at Yamikumo with a punch, which Yamikumo barely dodged by making a backflip. Punches and kicks were given by Yamikumo. For his part, he dodged them all, thanks to the mobility that his quirk gave him. However, the last blow managed to hit him in the stomach, sending him back a few meters. Yamikumo quickly pulled himself together and threw a fire straight at the nomu's face. The nomu didn't flinch, letting out a roar, and tried to charge again. However, the boy puffed out his cheeks, and when the nomu was close enough, he unleashed a huge flare from his mouth, driving the nomu back and at the same time managing to get away a bit. The nomu recovered quickly, took a great leap in the direction of Yamikumo to hit him. However, Yamikumo made a quick turn to evade the blow and quickly counterattack with a fire kick directly to the nomu's face. The nomu recovered quickly and hit Yamikumo hard in the stomach, causing him to open his eyes in pain and sending him flying a few meters. Yamikumo tried to attack again but instead received another hit from the monster. Picking himself up quickly, Yamikumo leaped back to keep a little distance. It is quite strong. But I need to buy time for reinforcements to arrive, he said while panting a little. Inadvertently, Nomu attacks him again with several blows which he barely dodged. However, he was unable to dodge one that went straight to his face, sending him to fly and breaking his mask. Luckily, his mask managed to cushion most of the blow. Yamikumo recovered and attacks the Nomu again. He gave him a strong blow of fire in the face to later remate with a kick of fire to the face again. Take this, Yamikumo said as he created 2 large spheres of fire in each hand, bringing them together and then launching them against the Nomu. At the entrance, amazing, Adenajikun is holding himself against that thing, said Uraraka while watching the fight from the distance. Yes, but he is clearly getting tired while the monster seems practically unharmed, besides the burns, said Shiro. At this moment, Izumi's group arrived with Aizawa in their hands. After putting him in the floor, they observed the fight as well. Yamikumo versus Nomu. When the sphere of fire disappeared, the Nomu appeared practically unharmed, apart from some burns on his face, right arm, and on the right side of his body. A little started to fall from Yamikumo's head. Damn, Yamikumo looked at his right arm. It is not complete yet, but I have no other option. I have to use it. Suddenly, the temperature around Yamikumo began to rise, his skin took on a reddish color, and with a loud scream, a torrent of fire emerged from Yamikumo's body. When the fire died, Yamikumo appears with a somewhat changed appearance, surprising everyone. His skin has a reddish color, his veins protrude from his body, his eyes were covered by fire, his hood had fallen showing, while covering his hair, fire that took the shape of his hair, and his body was surrounded by an aura of fire. What did you do? Asked Shigaraki. I call this form, Fire Soul. I use my fire to power up my body, hence the appearance. After this, Yamikumo gave a quick sigh and giving a strong stomp. The fire that surrounded his body took the form of a dragon the same size as the Nomu. After a roar, the fire dragon headed for Nomu and, to everyone's surprise, managed to send it flying a few meters back. Without wasting the opportunity, Yamikumo caught up with Nomu and unleashed a series of blows and kicks of fire, ending with Nomu in the air. Propelling himself towards the Nomu, Yamikumo hit him with a spinning kick, sending the Nomu to the ground. Yamikumo turned to his right arm, seeing how it was starting to lose its fire soul state. I can't keep this form any longer. This will be my last attack. Landing, Yamikumo prepared his right fist to hit the Nomu. His fist caught fire and he charged towards the Nomu. I'll take one from Endeavor's book. When his fist hit the Nomu, the fire began to spread through the Nomu's body. Fire soul prominence burn. After the mighty scream, a huge number of flames emerged from Yamikumo's fist. After a few seconds, the Nomu flew out and crashed against the wall. When the smoke cleared, Namu's body was lying on the ground, covered in multiple burns and unable to move or respond to Shigaraki's orders. NNO, he cheated. The Namu was supposed to defeat All Might, not to lose against a student. He then turned at Yamikumo. You, if I can't kill All Might, at least I'll kill you. Shigaraki then charged at Yamikumo. The boy tried to move, but the fire soul state left him completely exhausted. Shigaraki was about to reach Yamikumo, but suddenly, have no fear because I am here. All Might appeared between the villain and Yamikumo, punching the villain away from Yamikumo. Young Adanagi, are you okay? Just in time, All Might. I'll be fine, I just need to rest. Shit, Kurogiri, let's go. The mist villain quickly wrapped both villains away. After a few minutes of silence, the ambient relaxed a little bit. Yamikun, both the hero and student, saw Kinoko running towards them, followed by other students. Kinoko hugged Yamikumo, making both fall to the floor. Yamikumo returned the hug. It's okay. I'm fine, he said to her ear, while she was crying. After a few minutes, the rest of the teachers and the police arrived, and the students told the police what happened. Good time you arrived at time, All Might. Good job defeating that thing, said Midnight while looking at the Nomu's body. I didn't defeat it. Young Adanagi did. All the heroes were surprised by this revelation. A student defeated something created to kill All Might. They all stared at the boy, who was being treated by Recovery Girl. And this is how the USJ incident ended. Unknown place. Shigaraki emerged from a portal, then a voice was heard from a screen. So, how did it went? Sensei, your Nomu was useless. It didn't even fight against All Might. It was defeated by student. A single student, Shigaraki said with rage. A student? How do you know his or her name? Asked the voice. No, but I remember his face. I will have my revenge. Calm down, Tamura Shigaraki. Use this experience to learn, and next time you will succeed. After the so-called USJ incident, the UA gave the students some free days so they can relax after that horrible experience. The free days had passed and now the Class 1A was chatting about what happened. Hey, have you seen the news? Asked Zero to Kirishima. Yes, the news made a lot of noise about it, replied Kirishima. Can you blame them? The UA was attacked. Kaminari joined the conversation. At least everything ended well, said Zero. Yeah dude, but we have to admit that Adanagi was the most incredible of us all. You saw how he defeated that monster, said Kaminari while everyone's attention turned to Yamikumo. Feeling everyone's stares, Yamikumo looked away from his book to see how everyone was watching him. What? Dude, you were so awesome. You defeated that Nomu thing. You are so manly. Thanks. I guess. I'm not used to this kind of attention. Everyone go to your seats. The morning classes will start soon, Ada ordered to everyone. A few minutes later the classroom door opened, revealing Aizawa with his face and both arms wrapped in bandages. Good morning. Aizawa-sensei, are you okay? Asked Ada. I'm fine, that's not important. Now into a new subject. The fight isn't over yet. Fight? Don't tell me. More villains. The UA Sports Festival is approaching, Aizawa said, calming everyone. The sports festival? Wait. Villains just invaded us. Is it wise to organize a festival? Asked a student. On the contrary, by holding the sports festival, we will be demonstrating the confidence we have in our security system. We will also have a security 5 times higher than in other years, Aizawa started saying. Also, the sports festival is a great opportunity for everyone. True, there will be several professionals observing the event, possibly to see potential young recruits, said Momo. That's right. If a professional sees you at the event, you will have a promising future. You have this opportunity once a year, 3 years in total. If you aspire to be heroes, this is an event you cannot fail at. During midday break. Man, I'm so pumped right now. If we can stand out and attract the attention of a professional, it will be a step towards success, said Kirishima while some of his classmates were sharing his enthusiasm. Incredible, everyone is very excited, said Izumi to herself. Aren't you as well? Asked Ada. We signed up here to become heroes, right? Of course, it is natural to get excited about this. You have a strange way to show your enthusiasm, Ada, said Mina while laughing at Ada's antics. Guys, interrupted Uraraka. We will do our best at this festival. Do you understand? Wow, it looks like Uraraka just awakened her spirit. Now that I think about it, I never asked her reasons for becoming a hero, thought Izumi. Money. Yais. I'm sorry. My motivation seems impure compared to yours. Don't say that, girl. Your motivation is just as valid as ours, said Mina. Yes, everyone has their own motivations, said Kaminari. Exactly. It is also valid if your goal is to achieve a better quality of life, said Ida. Saturn would really hate you. Luckily I'm not him, Yamikumo thought. You see, my family owns a construction, but right now there is no job, so we are kind of poor. That's why I will become a hero, so that my parents have a better life. Urakasen, that is so noble from your part, Ada said while clapping at her. Everyone else was saying similar things to her. Suddenly All Might appeared from nowhere. Young Midoriya, there you are. Oh, All Might W, what's going on? Asked Izumi. Do you want to eat with me? He's acting like a schoolgirl, said Uraraka while she, Mina and Kanoko were laughing at All Might. Sure, replied Izumi. While the duo walked away, Yamikumo was staring at the direction they went. This is my chance to clear all my doubts, he turned at the rest of his friends. I forgot my book at the classroom. If you'll excuse me, I'll go get it. Save me a place and ask me for some katsudon, please. When the rest leave to the cafeteria, he quietly followed Izumi and All Might. Cafeteria. What do you think All Might want? What Izumi asked Mina. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with what Asuasan said on the bus, that their quirks were similar. Maybe he wants to help her with it, said Ida. From the distance, Todoroki was listening to that conversation. Midoriya and All Might. Restroom. With All Might and Izumi. So, how are you doing? Do you find a way to control one for all? Asked Toshinori. The sports festival is nearby. We have to do something about that. Well, no, not yet. I'm still trying to find a way to avoid damaging myself. I see. In that case, we have to use the free time you will have to train for the sports festival to find a way you can control the one for all. Why yes, I'm tired to get injured while using it. Honestly, I can't keep being the symbol of peace, started Toshinori while watching Izumi at the eyes. Thankfully young Adangi managed to defeat that Nomu thing. Thanks to him, I still have my 3 hours limit, but some villains are starting to notice me getting weaker. He then changed his expression to a confident one. That's why I transfer one for all to you. I want me to inherit my position. The sports festival is a great opportunity for everyone. We must show the new All Might to the next generations. I want you to show the world that you are the new symbol of peace. Why, yes, I will. So I was right since the beginning. A voice interrupted scene. Both turned to see Yamikumo standing beside a corner of the room staring at them. Oh no, he must have heard all the conversation. What are we going to do? Izumi stared to worry. She then turned at All Might, but, to her surprise, he seemed relaxed. He isn't worried. Oh, it's only you, young Adanagi. Come here and take a seat. Do you want a cup of tea? Said Toshinori. Sure. Do you have chamomile tea? Said Yamikumo while taking a seat beside Izumi and grabbing the cup of tea that Toshinori handed to him. What's going on and why are you so calm about this? Asked a really confused Izumi. Oh right, I forgot to tell you. To keep it short, young Adanagi already knows about the one for all, said Toshinori. Wait, you know that's why you helped me with Bakugo. Yes, but I didn't know that All Might passed one for all to you. I only had my suspicious. But how? To keep it short, Toshinori-san offered me the one for all, but I declined the offer. But why? It's a unique opportunity. Yes, but I didn't need it. And judging by the short time I know you, I can say that you were the perfect choice, said Yamikumo while taking a sip to his tea. Tea, thanks, said Izumi while blushing. I heard you have problems controlling one for all. I can help you with that. In the time we have until sports festival, I can help you train. I have some ideas you can use to control the one for all. You do? Are you sure? Will there be no one else with us? Initially I was going to train with Kinoko, but she wanted to train alone this time. So yeah, just the two of us. And Toshinori, of course. Yes, thank you very much. Good, give me your address and, when the time comes, I'll go pick you up. Sure. Good. Oh yeah. I recommend you that you start calling All Might by his real name when he is in this form, he said, then leave to the cafeteria. Well, that went well, said Toshinori. After school. 1A classroom. What's going on? Uraraka said. She wanted to get out the classroom, but a horde of people was blocking the exit from the classroom. We can't exit the classroom. They are here to scout in the competence, said Bakugo in an unusual calm tone. They are searching for the class which survived to the villain invasion. That's the neutral Kachin, you don't see him so often, said Izumi. Bakugo then directed to the horde. Get out of the way, extras. You are arrogant. We only came to see you. Is everyone in the hero department like this? Said a purple-haired boy. The truth, seeing this, I must say that I was a little disappointed. In the general studies department, as in others, there are many people who failed to pass the entrance exam. Did you know? Where do you want to go with that? Asked Bakugo. Depending on the outcome of the sports festival, the possibility of joining the hero department can be analyzed. Of course, that also works the other way around. So, I came to declare war on you, the purple guy said, shocking everyone. Interesting, thought Yamikumo. He was pretending to read his book, but in the reality, he was watching this guy. He was very interesting. Hey, I am from the class 1B, said a gray-haired guy. I heard you fought villains, but I hope that's not why you feel arrogant. Another one, thought the entire class 1A. Don't embarrass us. After this declaration, Bakugo started making his way out of the classroom. Wait a minute. These people hate us because of you, screamed Hiroshima at him. Make no mistake. When you are at the top, that is inevitable. The most important thing is to stay there, said Bakugo before leaving. After this event, everyone started leaving as well, and the 2 weeks of training started. Midoriya residence. Monday, 1000 a.m. Yamikumo was standing in front of Midoriya's department. They agreed to start training today. Small, but I'm no one to say. I live in a bar. He then knocked at the door and a woman opened. The woman was rather small and chubby. Hi, you must be Midoriya's mother. I am Yamikumo Adanagi. I'm a friend of your daughter and we agreed to train together for the sports festival, said Yamikumo to her. Yes, she mentioned that. I'm so happy that she finally managed to make some friends. Come inside, I'll call her. Thank you, Midoriya-san. Please call me Inko. Izumi never mentioned she had a really handsome friend, said Inko without second intentions in her voice. Thanks, I guess, he said while entering the department. Cozy. Izumi-kun. Your friend is here, Inko called her daughter. One moment. I'm still changing, said Izumi from her room. You can wait in the living room. Please make yourself at home, said Inko to Yamikumo. Thanks, he said, but before seating he saw a couple of photos in the table. Family photos maybe. He grabbed one. It was a photo of Inko and Izumi when Izumi was 4 years. Wow, Inko-san really changed in these years. He then looked at Izumi and realized something. He quickly pulled his phone and opened an old photo of him and his late brother when he was 4 years old, and was able to observe all the similarities between him and Izumi. There are some differences, but we are practically similar. Could this be? He then looked at Inko and then at the photo again. I have to investigate first, before concluding anything, he thought while putting the photo in its place. I'm ready. Izumi arrived in her gym clothes. Good, let's go. Toshinori-san is already there. Okay, I'm leaving, Mom. I'll come back later. Okay, honey. Be careful, please. They both headed to Dagaba Beach. In the way, Yamikumo asked something to Izumi. Midoriya, do you have any brothers or sisters? No, I'm an only child, but I always wanted a big brother. And you? I had one, he said. Had? Yes. Do you remember the accident that I lost my eye? Well, let's say I wasn't the only one there. But I was the only one who survived. In fact, my left eye is my brother's eye. He gave it to me so that I could regain my sight. I'm sorry, it's okay. You didn't know. The rest of the way was silent. Dagobah Beach. When arriving at the beach and meeting with Toshinori, they did a small warm-up and then started training Izumi. Okay, Midoriya, can you explain to me what you feel when activating the One for All? It feels like whoosh or pow, like an egg in the microwave, said Izumi while Yamikumo and Toshinori had sweat drops in their heads. Okay, can you activate it for me? I need to check something. Just activate it, don't use it. Izumi did what was told. She activated the One for All in her arm. I see. Your problem is that you are using all the power in just one place of your body. Try to spread all the power in all your body. Yes, good suggestion, young Adanagi, said Toshinori. Izumi stared at them. I don't understand. Let me put this in a way you can understand. After thinking a few seconds, he explained. I know. It's like putting a taiyaki in the microwave. If you put the taiyaki with a big plate, it won't rotate. If the taiyaki does not rotate, it will be hot only on the surface while it will be cold on the inside. You are the taiyaki. Finished. After this explanation, there was an awkward silence until now, I insisted on using it only when he thought it necessary, and focused on a single point. Instead of sending everything all to a single part of my body, said Izumi while activating the One for All. But this time, in all her body. I must distribute it evenly throughout my body. Electricity began to gush through her entire body. The One for All was running through her entire body. Oh my goddess, said All Might while turning onto his hero form. Yamikumo only smirked proud. Well, somehow I managed to make her understand it. Can you move like this? He asked her. I don't know. Yamikumo lit his arms. Let's find out, he said while Izumi made a confident smirk. After some hours of training, Izumi was sitting at the sand with an exhausted expression while Yamikumo was standing in front of her, tied but still standing. You did good. You just need to work on your own style, but other than that you're fine. Toshinori-san, how much do you think she can control? Like 5 to 7%, said Toshinori. In that case we will use these 2 weeks to increase that percentage, said Yamikumo. But I think this is enough for today. Tomorrow at the same hour. Yes, said Izumi. 2 weeks later. It was nighttime. Tomorrow was the last day before the sports festival. Yamikumo decided to give Izumi that day so she can rest. But right now, he was heading a special place, the Orphanage New Life, the orphanage he used to live before being adopted. Thanks to his stealth ability, he easily entered the building without no one noticing. He was heading to the adoption files. He needs to investigate who was him before being Yamikumo. He was not previously interested in this topic. But now he has some suspicions and must find out, otherwise he will never be calm. She quickly reached the adoption file room, quietly walked in, and started looking for what she wanted. Yamikumo Riverdale adoption papers. Let's see. He opened the file and what he saw left him speechless. Adoption paper. New name Yamikumo Adanagi. Age 9 months. Adoptive parents Joshua Riverdale and Margaret Riverdale. Old name Izuku Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya, that is who he was before. All he did was sit down. Thousands of questions ran through his head. But the most important was why his mother didn't want him. She just wanted to have a daughter for the first time in his life since the Riverdales. Yamikumo felt weak. A few minutes passed, but he felt it like hours. Being the pragmatic person he is, he reached a conclusion. It's too soon to come to any conclusions. I must talk with Inko to know her reasons. But until I talk with her, I can't say anything to Izumi. 2 days later, a large number of people was making lines to enter to the UA. The reason? The sports festival was about to begin. Inspections are very time-consuming. After receiving that invasion of villains, security is tighter, said a reporter. The controversy raised by this event is equal to ratings this year. Eyes are on Class 1A. Generally, the third years have the main stage because of the energy they show in their final year. But this year, everything points to the scenario of the first year getting all the attention, said another reporter. We must recruit, and it looks like it will be a difficult day, said the pro hero Kamui Woods. Well, you know they also asked us to keep watch, said Death Arms. It seems that professional heroes came from all over the country, said Mount Lady. Antirum 1A. Everyone is ready, we leave in a few minutes, said Ada to the rest of his classmates. Are you ready, Midoriya? Asked Yamikumo to Izumi. Yes, thanks to you I can control my quirk, said Izumi with confidence. Her training with Yamikumo not only helped her control his quirk, but also gave her some confidence. Midoriya, Adanagi, called Todoroki. Being objective, I'm stronger than you, Midoriya. And you are obviously the strongest of us all, Adanagi. Even so, Midoriya, you managed to get the attention of All Might, and you, Adanagi, defeated a creature created to defeat All Might. That's why I am going to defeat both of you. A declaration of war among the strongest of the class, said Kaminari. You damn half and half bastard, if you are going to declare war on someone. Make it the right person, interrupted Bakugo. I am going to be the strongest of all. So, I will defeat anyone who gets in my way. Especially you, Scars said while pointing at Yamikumo. Scars again, thought Yamikumo. Just because you beat that thing doesn't make you the strongest here, so don't underestimate me. I never underestimate no one, replied Yamikumo with a challenging look. Okay, that's enough. It is time to enter the stadium, said Ida, interrupting. The UA Sports Festival has just started, said Present Mike from the commentator booth. Entering first, the boys who faced the invasion of the villains with steel temper from the hero department. I present to you Class 1A, said while the class was exiting to the arena. There's a lot of people, said Izumi. Next, we have Class 1B, also from the hero department, Groups C, D, and E of the Department of General Studies, Groups F, G, and H of the support and administrative department, said President Mike while the rest of the students entered the arena. As a judge, we have the rated +18 heroine, Midnight. Hi everyone. Now we will have the student give the athlete speech. Yamikumo Adanagi, Midnight said. Adanagi-kun asked Izumi. Maybe it's because he got first place on the entrance exam, said Shiro. Yamikumo stepped in front of the microphone with a completely serious face, which he usually uses to hide his nervousness. Why me? He gave a heavy sigh and started. I'm not really good with these kinds of speeches, so I'll do it quick, he said while everyone was ready to hear what he has to say. Yamikumo cleared his throat and speak. I wish everyone good luck and I hope everyone give their best, thank you. He finished and went back to his group. The public clapped slightly. They were expecting an epic speech. Okay, let's go directly to the first test, which will be an obstacle race, she said while a gate was opening. A race among the 11 classes. The route to follow is the perimeter of the stadium. 4 kilometers in total. Only the first 42 places will advance to the next round. Everyone got ready to run. Start, screamed Midnight. Everyone started running only to get stuck in the gates. Suddenly, a blast of ice froze everyone's feet. It was Todoroki who took the lead. Easy though, Todoroki, but then he saw everyone running behind him. I expected my class to avoid this, but not everyone. Then Yamikumo appeared beside him, with his body surrounded of fire. You didn't learn anything from our fight, didn't you? You keep acting irrationally, he said, and Todoroki accelerated his steps. Suddenly, 3 0 points appeared in front of everyone. So, this is what they faced in the entrance exam, said Todoroki while creating some ice. At least they would have bothered to make something more difficult. Because my old man is watching this. After this, he completely froze the 3 robots. After Todoroki passed from the bottom, the robots collapsed, preventing the passage of others. With a single attack, Todoroki, Class 1A, breaks through and blocks the way for the others. Incredible, said President Mike. I need to think on way to get past the robots though, Izumi, but then a 1 point tried to attack her. She avoided the attack. Now is the time. All my training was for this. 15% Detroit Smash. She punched the robot and destroyed it. Ouch. I can control it, but the robots are still made of metal. She then grabbed 2 small pieces of the robot and wrapped them in her hands, then punched another robot. Perfect. With these I can punch without hurting my knuckles. She then grabbed a bigger piece and wrapped it in her back. Just in case. From the fallen robots a body emerged from them. It was Kirishima. That Todoroki, if it hadn't been me, that person would have died. Ijiro Kirishima. Quirk hardening. Ijiro's quirk gives him the power to harden and sharpen any or all parts of his body, causing his flesh to become jagged and rock-like. Then another person emerged from the robots. That guy, if it hadn't been me, that person would have died. Tetsu. Quirk steel. Tetsu's quirk allows him to turn his skin into steel. This power grants Tetsu both augmented defensive abilities to withstand attacks, as well as the augmented strength of his unarmed physical attacks. Suddenly an explosion was heard. It was Bakugo who used his explosions to pass above the robots. He was followed by Shiro, Takoyami, and Yamikumo. Hanta Shiro. Quirk tape. Hanta's quirk is that he has tape dispenser-like organs in his elbows, from which he can shoot long cellophane tape-like strips. He can also retract them. They appear to be somewhat sturdier than regular tape. Fumikage Takoyami. Quirk Dark Shadow. Fumicage's quirk allows him to manifest a sentient shadow monster from his body that he can materialize and contract freely. If you cannot go below, go above, said President Mike. Then an even bigger explosion destroyed the rest of the robots. It was Momo with the cannon she created. Thanks to her, everyone was able to pass the robots but quickly find themselves in the second obstacle. It was a cliff with various ropes connecting various pillars of earth. If you fall, you are disqualified. Todoroki was already near the end of this obstacle. Tsuyu used her quirk to move in the ropes. Ada did the same but trying to maintain the equilibrium. Bakugo used his explosions to cross the cliff by flying. But the most surprising, at least for the Class 1A, was Izumi, who used her quirk to jump large distance between pillars. In the middle of the air, she encountered Bakugo. So, you managed to control your quirk. Good, it will be funnier to destroy you, he said before propelling himself towards the end of the obstacle. Todoroki was already in the way to the last obstacle when he stopped. Ladies and gentlemen, the third obstacle, a minefield like in the Rambo movies. But don't worry, the power of the mines is low enough to only stun. It's an obstacle for the one that is in first place, said Todoroki to himself. Not for me, screamed Bakugo while passing Todoroki. He was using his explosions to fly above the minefield. I told you. You chose the wrong people to declare a war. Todoroki reached Bakugo and started fighting him for the first place. But suddenly a big explosion was heard from the beginning of the third obstacle and Izumi could be seen flying on the sky over a piece of metal, passing both and taking the first place. Deku, who said you could go ahead of me, charged Bakugo. Todoroki froze the field and started running towards them. This will open the way for those behind. But this is not the time to worry about that. When they both managed to reach Izumi, she used the piece of metal to activate a mine which exploded and managed to give him the necessary boost to overtake the two and at the same time momentarily stun Bakugo and Todoroki. She then landed at the end of the minefield, activated her quirk, and started running the fastest she could with Todoroki and Bakugo in her back. Now, with you, the winner of the first test is Izumi Midoriya, said President Mike when Izumi entered the arena. When Izumi entered, the entire state erupted into applause and shouts of excitement. At Izumi's house, Inko was crying with happiness, while Shigaraki, who was watching the event from his lair, was waiting for someone else while scratching the back of his neck. One after another they began to reach the goal. Deku-chan, you managed to get first. You are awesome, congratulated Uraraka. Thanks, she said to her. Indeed. But what surprised me the most was that you used your quirk without hurting yourself, said Ida. I trained so hard with Adeniji-kun and managed to control my quirk. I still can't use all the power, but at least I can use a low quantity to avoid injuring myself, she said with a proud smile. Midori, you were so awesome, arrived Mina. Thanks, but, Midori. Yes, Midoriya is too long to say, so I decided to call you Midori. I think is cute. Mina answered her with a bright smile. Izumi blushed madly. 3C. I guess I like it. First place, huh? Not bad. Yamikumo said, who was accompanied by Kinoko and Kaminari. You did good. But I'm surprised you didn't go for the first place, Yamikun, said Kinoko. It wasn't necessary. He simply answered. We're done. Here are the results, said Midnight, while in the screen appeared all the 42 places. And I will only put the places of the Yama squad members, plus Bakugo and Todoroki. 1. Izumi Midoriya. 2. Shoto Todoroki. 3. Katsuki Bakugo. 6. Tenya Ida. 7. Kinoko Komori. 10. Yamikumo Adenagi. 16. Achako Uraraka. 19. Mina Ishido. 24. Denki Kaminari. What a pity for those who did not pass, but we must continue, said Midnight. Now, the second event will be a cavalry battle, she said, while a picture of All Might being carried by 13. Present Mike and Eraserhead was shown. Teams can be 2 to 4 people. You can freely choose your team. The rules are the same as a normal cavalry battle, only with a difference. The value of your team's points will be based on the result of the obstacle race, she said as everyone's score was displayed on the screen. The last place is worth 5 points, the penultimate is worth 10 points, and so on. Except for first place, which is worth a total of 10 million. When Izumi heard that, she could feel everyone glaring at her. You have 15 minutes to form your teams. The points will be the total of the sum of the team members. The rider must wear the band that will indicate the points of each team. In addition, the captured bands should be placed on the neck. Very well. Start building your teams. Midnight ended. Bakugo, let's make a team. A lot of people started asking Bakugo to join his team. I don't know your quirks, get lost, he said. Bakugo, let's team up, said Kirishima. You want to be the rider, right? In that case you will need someone to withstand your explosive impacts. That will be me. Together we will be invincible, and we will take the 10 million. He said, earning a smirk from Bakugo. Yamikumo saw Kinoko getting closer to him. Without her saying anything, he nodded at her. Okay, now who else we need to our team, she asked. I have some candidates, he said while getting closer to a purple-haired guy, the same guy that declared war to them. Hitoshi Shinso, right? The guy now identified as Shinso turned to him and was about to answer, but Yamikumo interrupted him. Before you answer, please don't use your quirk on me. I want to talk with you, he said, surprising Shinso. How? I have my ways, he answered. I better not tell him that I sneak into the principal's office and read his file. Okay, I'm listening. I want you in my team, he simply said, surprising him and Kinoko. Why? Your quirk is useful and I'm the only one who wants to willingly form a team with you. If you put it like that, but before of that, answer me. How many know about my quirk? Only me, and her of course, Yamikumo answered while pointing at Kinoko. In that case, I gladly accept your offer, Shinso answered. We can use another member, said Kinoko. At first, I thought of Kirishima, but he already joined Bakugo. But I think there is someone else available to take his place, he said while looking at the gray-haired guy from Class 1B. Come on, Shinso. You are helping me recruit our last member, he said while walking towards the gray-haired guy with Shinso following him. Just as I supposed, everyone is avoiding me, Izumi thought. Deku-chan, let's team up, said Uraraka. Uraraka-san, are you sure? Yes, I think it's better to team up with friends. This is good. I have a plan, we just need Ada to join us. Yeah, about that. I asked him to join you with me, but he declined and joined Todoroki. He said he also looks you as a rival. Uraraka interrupted. I see, it's okay, I understand. You the first place, let's team up. Suddenly a pink-haired girl reached Izumi. Who are you? I'm Mei Hatsum. I want to team up with you to show all my babies to the world. Babies, you mean your inventions? All my inventions are my babies. I guess you can join, I see some things that can be useful, Izumi said. We only need one more person, she said while walking towards another person and touching his shoulder. And it's you. The 15 minutes are up. So, let's get started, said Midnight. Wake up, Eraserhead, the teams are complete, said President Mike while waking up Aizawa. Interesting teams, Aizawa simply said. In the arena all the teams were prepared to start. Here it comes, said Izumi. Are you ready? Yes, answered Uraraka. Hey, laughed Hatsum. Yes, said Takoyami. I'm counting on you. Izumi ended, then she saw the rest of the team, especially three of them. Bakugo's team was formed by Kirishima, Mina and Shiro. Bakugo was the rider, Kirishima was the frontal horse, and Mina and Shiro were at the sides. They had a total of 665 points. Todoroki's team was formed by Ida, Momo and Denki. Todoroki was the rider, Ida was the frontal horse, and Momo and Denki were at the sides. They had a total of 615 points. Finally, Yamikumo's team was formed by Kanoko, Shinso and Tetsu. Kanoko was the rider, Tetsu was the frontal horse, and Yamikumo and Shinso were at the sides. They had a total of 565 points. Do you remember the plan? Asked Yamikumo to his teammates. Yes, said Kanoko. I still don't like teaming up with you, but I guess I have no other options, said Tetsu. Shinso simply nodded. Here we go. Let the countdown begin. 3. Our objective, said Bakugo. 2. Is only 1, said Todoroki. 1. As long as we follow the plan, everything will be fine, said Yamikumo. Start. Here we go. Let the countdown begin. 3. Our objective, said Bakugo. 2. Is only 1, said Todoroki. 1. As long as we follow the plan, everything will be fine, said Yamikumo. Start. Suddenly every team started charging against Izumi's team. This is the price we pay for being first place. Your choice, Midoriya. Easy. We run Hatsumisen, Urakesen, watch out your heads, Izumi said while she activated a jetpack, courtesy of Mei, and then start flying. I don't think so, said Gyro while using her jacks to try and grab the 10 meters points. But they were blocked by Takoyami's Dark Shadow. Good work, Dark Shadow. Cover our blind spots, said Izumi to the shadow. Yes, answered the quirk. Deku. Suddenly Bakugo appeared above them and was about to steal the 10 points. Luckily Izumi managed to grab Bakugo's arms. Sorry Kachin, but I can't let you take these points, she said before kicking Bakugo away. Luckily for Bakugo, he was saved by Shiro's tape. We are about to land, said Uraraka. The team landed safely thanks to Mei's inventions. Yes, thanks to Hatsume's inventions and Uraraka's zero gravity we can land safely, said Izumi while putting a headband in her neck. Wait, Deku-chan, since when you have another headband? Asked Uraraka. It's Kachin's headband. I grabbed it when he tried to steal ours. I think he didn't notice it. It's like an insurance if someone takes the 10 million. Wow, you are so smart, said Uraraka. Damn it, come on, said Gyro to her team. Wait, where is your headband? Asked Sato. What she said while at the distance Kanoko was adding another headband to her collection. Do not get overconfident, Midoriya, said Shoji while rushing at them. What, Shoji, are you alone? Come on, let's move. I can't, said Uraraka. Her foot was trapped by one of Minda's S. That's from Minda. She then saw Minda inside Shoji's arms. And suddenly a tongue tried to grab her headband. It was Tsuyu, who was with Minda and Shoji. She managed to avoid her tongue. We need to go. She activated the jetpack and managed to escape. Sadly, one of Hatsume's inventions broke. My baby, screamed Hatsume. Sorry, but at least we escape, said Izumi while her team landed. It was an interesting first half. Let's see the scores of the teams, said Present Mike when the screen showed the scores. Wait a minute, besides the Midoriya team, the only teams with points are the Komori team, the Monoma team and the Todoroki team. The screen showed the scores. 1. Team Midoriya 10,990 points. 2. Team Komori 1935 points. 3. Team Monoma 1190 points. 4. Team Todoroki 615 points. The rest of the teams had 0 points. Everyone was speechless how they lost their punts. You all got so focused on the 10 million, neglecting your own bands, giving others free rein to steal them without you noticing, said Yamikumo. I must say that I am impressed, Adanagi. Your plan worked very well, said Shinso. My plans always work, said Yamikumo. Flashback. Yamikumo slapped the back of Tetsu's head to snap him out the brainwashing. Wow, what's going on? He said. Welcome to our team. What is your name? I am Tetsu. And who said I will join your team? Tetsu said. Look around. All the teams are already formed. I think you have no other option. Damn it. Fine, but we better get those 10 million. Tetsu said. On the contrary, we don't want the 10 million, replied Yamikumo. Why, everyone is going for the 10 million. Exactly. While everyone is distracted by the 10 million, we will steal as many headbands as we can to secure second place. I see. But, why second? You see, in a marathon, you don't give your best from the start. You wait for the others to get tired in order to win. Yamikumo said. Okay, now the plan is I said we will steal all the headbands we can. Possibly, when half the time passes, they will show the points. That's when we change into a defensive tactic. Tetsu, you will be the frontal horse. You will be our shield. Tetsu nodded. Shinso, you will go at the left. Use your brainwashing and make other teams defend us. Shinso nodded. I'll go at the right and I will use my fire to keep other teams away. Kanoko, you'll be the rider. You are the lightest of us all. Protect the headbands. Kanoko nodded. Okay, let's go. Flashback end. Bakugo was pissed. Someone stole his points, and he didn't know who. Suddenly some claps were heard. It was Monoma. It seems that you are all words, said while Bakugo was getting angrier. You bark but you don't bite. And so, you want to be number one. Poor you. That's it, Bakugo thought. He made an explosion with his hands. Hiroshima before Deku, we will destroy these extras, he said in a furious tone. Meanwhile, Izumi was facing a special team. I knew you were coming for us. It was a matter of time. Todoroki-kun, soon. Your headband will be mine, Todoroki simply said. Suddenly a lot of teams surrounded both of Todoroki and Izumi's teams. Kaminari, said Todoroki. Finally, indiscriminate discharge. 1.3 million volts, he said while unleashing an enormous quantity of electricity. Todoroki used a blanket to cover the rest of his team. Dark shadow protected Izumi's team. Sadly, the rest of the teams were paralyzed by the attack. Todoroki used this and froze everyone, except Izumi's team. No, the jetpack, Izumi said when the jetpack busted in smoke. I guess we don't have other choice rather than fight. Yes, but Kaminari is dangerous. His electricity can destroy Dark Shadow, but I think they don't know that, said Takoyami. So, let's use that to our advantage, said Izumi while staying at Todoroki's left. Todoroki-kun, prepare yourself, said Ada. Ada, after this I will stop being useful, so, make sure you grab them, Ada said while preparing his technique. Torque over recipro burst from 1 second to the next. Izumi's headband disappears. Todoroki's team, now behind her back, had the headband. I've been saving this move for the time to face you, Midoriya. No, the headband, screamed Uraraka. Wow, in a twist of events, Todoroki's team took the 10 million, said Present Mike. But then, that was an impressive move, Idakun. I never expected it, but I'm sorry to tell you it didn't work out, Izumi said as she turned the headband around her neck, showing the 10 million points. What? Todoroki was shocked. He then saw the headband in his hand, and it was one with 665 points. It was Bakugo's headband. How? Since I thought that all teams would go for the band of my head, I swapped it with the one that I took from Bakugo and hide the points by turning both. So, everyone would go for the wrong headband while keeping the 10 million safe. It occurred to me in the middle of the competition, but apparently it worked, explained Izumi. Incredible, Midoriya tricked everyone into chasing the wrong headband, said Present Mike. She created a secondary strategy in case her original strategy failed. Very smart, added Aizawa. While at the distance, Yamikumo was smiling proudly. Come on, we need that headband, ordered Todoroki, and his team charged at Midoriya's. Without thinking it, he activated his left side, but then, time's out, screamed Present Mike. At the same time, Bakugo managed to take all of Monoma's headbands. Todoroki was shocked, not because of what Izumi did, because he realized he used his left. Very well, let's check the final scores, said Present Mike. First we have Midoriya's team, who managed to keep the 10 million points from the beginning, achieving a total of 10,325 points. Izumi's entire team was happy to keep 10 million points and come in first place. In second place we have Komori's team. Those with an incredible strategy managed to obtain 1935 points. All the team was smiling proudly. In third place we have Todoroki's team with a total of 1280 points. All the team sighed while Todoroki was still shocked. Finally, in fourth place we have Bakugo's team, with a total of 1190 points. The entire team was relieved to at least get through except Bakugo, who was cursing at the top of his lungs. Congratulations, Minech, and Tsuyu congratulated her classmate. The truth is that Bakugo only wanted me because my quirk was useful against Todoroki. In the end we didn't even face Todoroki. I'd better have joined Midoriya's team, said the pink girl. Idakun, why didn't you tell us about that technique? Asked Uraraka. I said I would challenge Midoriya-san. In the end, it didn't work out since she had everything under control from the beginning, Ada said. Speaking of Deku-chan, where is she? What do you want to talk about? Todoroki-kun asked Izumi. Todoroki pulled her away from the rest because he wanted to talk with her. Look, if we don't hurry, we will miss the food. And I want my katsudon. You put me in trouble, and I almost broke my promise because of you, said Todoroki while looking at his left arm. Let me ask you something. Are you All Might's secret love daughter? No, I'm not. Still, there is definitely a connection between the two of you. Something that you cannot reveal. I suppose you know that Endeavor is my father. He never managed to surpass All Might, so instead, he came up with another idea. What are you talking about? Asked Izumi. Have you ever heard about quirk marriage? My father is someone with money and power. Thanks to that, he managed to marry my mother. So, my father procreated me with the simple motive of achieving what he could not. It's disgusting. I will never be his tool. After this, he touched his scar. All I remember is my mother crying. He used to tell me your left side is horrible while throwing boiling water in my face. That is why I swore never to use my father's quirk. I'm going to get to first place without using my left side. I have always received help to progress. I am here thanks to all the help I have gotten. That is why I cannot fail. So, I accept your declaration of war, said Izumi with a confident face. You two get ready, because I assure you that I am going to beat you. After this conversation, the duo went back to the arena. Okay people, the third round is about to begin. Wait a minute, Present Mike started. It looks like the girls from Class 1A are up to some fanservice, he said, while the girls from the Class 1A, except Izumi, were dressed in cheerleader outfits. Mind you lied to us, yelled Momo. I thought Izuwe-sensei asked for this. Explain to me, how do you manage to avoid this, Midoriya? Asked Himinori. I'm glad I rejected Maita's plan. At least I won't be killed by the girls. Todoroki-kun wanted to talk with me, so I guess I wasn't here by the time this happened. He is a damn pervert, Yamikumo said. Then again, I can't be completely mad at him, he thought while looking at Kanoko in the cheerleader outfit. Okay, let's begin with the third event. It would be a tournament of fighting 1 against 1. The matches will be decided at random. Pay attention to the screen, said Midnight. Then the names appeared in the screen. 1. Izumi Midoriya vs Shoto Todoroki. 2. Hitoshi Shinso vs Hantashiro. 3. Yamikumo Adanagi vs Mina Ishido. 4. Fumikage Takoyami vs Momoye Urazu. 5. Kanoko Komori vs Denki Kaminari. 6. Tenya Ida vs Mei Hatsum. 7. Tetsu vs Ijiro Kirishima. 8. Katsuki Bakugo vs Achako Uraraka. What my first fight is against Todoroki-kun, Izumi thought. It seems our fight will be earlier than I expected. Still, it doesn't matter, thought Todoroki. Very well, the moment that everyone has been waiting for has arrived, said Present Mike. Let's start with the first match. For one side, she got first place in the obstacle course. She managed to keep the first place in the cavalry battle. Let's see how far this talented girl can go. From the hero department, Izumi Midoriya, Present Mike said while Izumi was stepping inside the arena. From the other side, he is so cold that he gives a new meaning to cold shoulder. From the hero department, Shoto Todoroki, Present Mike said while Todoroki was stepping inside the arena. The rules are simple. If the opponent leaves the ring, he becomes unconscious or surrenders. Victory will be for the one who remains standing. In case of severe injuries, Recovery Girl will take care of healing you. So, go with everything, said Midnight. Both competitors are ready, Todoroki and Izumi nodded. In that case, begin. Here I go. Todoroki threw a large pillar of ice towards Izumi. 15% Detroit Smash, Izumi said as her released her fist, causing a small shock wave that managed to break the ice. People cheered. What was that? She used less power, but she didn't injure herself. Though Todoroki. Again, Todoroki threw another column of ice at Izumi. The situation repeated itself and Izumi managed to break the ice with a punch. From what I know about Todoroki-kun's fights, he always attacks in an instant, so I don't have much data on him. She then saw Todoroki's ice. Not even a 100% smash could send him flying out of the ring. So, she wants an endurance match. I won't let her, he thought as he launched another pillar of ice. Delaware Smash once again. Izumi destroys the ice pillar with her power. But in that, she noticed that Todoroki started running towards her, running on an ice pillar that was created as he advanced. I don't think so, Izumi said as he did another Detroit Smash, but Todoroki jumped before the pillar was destroyed. Izumi jumped to get away from the blow from Todoroki, which when he made contact with the ground, it froze a part of it. But the ice began to make its way towards her, managing to catch her left foot and begin to make its way towards her full body. No, she thought, closing her left fist, preparing a strong blow. 25% Detroit Smash. When Izumi struck, she managed to destroy the ice, but this time she also managed to push Todoroki back. That was stronger than before, said Todoroki while looking at Izumi, who was holding her left arm. Are you trying to stay away from me? He is very strong, Izumi thought, and then looked at her left arm. My arm is numb, it hurts, but at least it is not injured. I will try to use only my right arm and hand until my left arm relaxes. At that, Izumi looked at Todoroki and noticed something. He is shaking. I will defeat you, Todoroki said to later throw another pillar of ice. The ice pillar was getting closer and closer to Izumi, who was looking down. It seemed that it was going to receive the attack, but I don't think so, she said to destroy the ice pillar. You are shaking, Todoroki-kun. There is a limit of cold which your body can withstand. Wouldn't it be easier to use your fire to provide heat to your body? She closed her fist. Everyone is fighting using their maximum power to win and achieve their dreams. So come to me, giving all you have. All I have did my old man buy you. I am pissed, Todoroki said, and then ran towards Izumi, but his movements were slower, something that Izumi noticed. You will not be able to do anything from very close, Todoroki thought at the moment of taking a slight leap towards Izumi. However, Izumi moved at that moment, crouching down and clenching her right fist. Use all your power, Izumi yelled at the moment of giving a strong blow to Todoroki's stomach, sending him to fly. However, Todoroki managed to freeze Izumi's left arm. Todoroki got up. Why are you going so far, he asked. Because I want to live up to everyone's expectations, Izumi said. I want to be a great hero. Shoto, a voice spoke in Todoroki's mind. That's why a loud blow snapped Todoroki out of his thoughts. I will defeat you. Shut up, I will never use his power. It's yours, isn't it, screamed Izumi. It's okay for you to become what you want to be. Shoto remembered his mother's words. At that moment a large amount of fire came out from Todoroki's left side. Izumi smiled at this. Why are you smiling? Asked Todoroki. Izumi put a serious face. Don't blame me for what happens next. At that, Todoroki began to create a large amount of ice while on his left the fire burned strongly. I should say that Izumi said as she prepared for a powerful attack. Midnight, if they continue like this will end very badly, said Cementos. Their bodies won't handle this, she said while ripping a piece of her suit. A large amount of ice shot out from Todoroki's right in the direction of Izumi, but she only ran as fast as she could to jump, dodging the ice, in the direction of Todoroki. Now, Todoroki used his left side, creating a large amount of fire which melted the ice into steam. Midoriya, Todoroki said as he prepared to launch a large amount of fire at Izumi, while the green-haired girl prepared a punch. Thank you. But before the crash, barriers appeared in front of them, creating a large explosion which destroyed the barriers as well as creating a large wind shockwave which made everyone hold on to their seats. Once the fog cleared, everyone was surprised at the result. Todoroki was standing on the platform while there was no sign of Izumi. Midoriya is nowhere to be found. The winner is Midnight started, but before she could announce the winner, the debris in front of Todoroki flew out. Izumi stepped out of the debris to hit Todoroki's jaw and knocked him off the platform as she landed right on the edge of it. I told you that I would defeat you, said Izumi while everyone was thinking on how she managed to do that. She used the explosion as a distraction so she could get closer to Todoroki and wait for the moment to attack. Yamikumo thought. Todoroki-kun is off the platform, the winner is Midoriya. She advances to the second round. Following this, all the spectators began to cheer Izumi as she deactivated the one for all and left the platform. Ouch, Izumi said while Recovery Girl was healing her. That's what happens when you overexert yourself. At least you didn't break anything, said Recovery Girl. Take these pills. They will help you cure the pain. Now you have to rest to recover your energy. Thanks, said Izumi. Suddenly all her friends entered the room. Midoriya-san, Deku-chan divided by Midori. You scared me, Toshinori said. Are you okay? Mina asked in a worried tone. At that, Ida saw Toshinori. And you are? He is Toshinori Yagi. He also helped me train, answered Izumi while Ida said hello to Toshinori. Guys, what happened with the next match? She asked. Your fight against Todoroki left the platform in poor condition. There was a break until it was repaired, said Kinoko. That was an awesome fight, said Kaminari. Yes, I bet a lot of professionals would want to recruit you, said Yoraka. Your bet is right, Yamikumo said, calling everyone's attention. On the way here, I managed to hear various heroes say that they want to have Midoriya in their agencies, that someone with her potential would be useful. Silence please, said Recovery Girl. This place is still an infirmary. This girl needs to rest to recover. Her muscles won't rest on their own. Come on, get out of here, she said as she led the others out of the room. Meanwhile, Izumi started crying with happiness. Hearing what Yamikumo had said had filled her with happiness. I did it. Toshinori looked at her. I did it, All Might, she said with a big smile on her face. Yes, young Midoriya, you did it. The platform was repaired, and the matches were ready to continue. After an amazing first fight, we continue with the first round. First, I don't know what you've done to stand out, but here you are. From the Department of General Studies, Hitoshi Shinso announced Present Mike while Shinso was entering the platform. Now, a boy with a funny face. From the Heroes Department, Hantashiro. Both competitors are ready, said Midnight while Shinso and Shiro nodded. In that case, begin. It must be really cool to be a part of the Hero Department, right? Asked Shinso. Yes, it's really. Suddenly Shiro stopped talking. He was staring at Shinso with a blank face. I got you now, do me a favor and step out of the platform, ordered Shinso. Surprisingly, Shiro did what was told and started walking out the platform. What is Shiro doing? Asked Kaminari. It looks like he is being controlled, said Momo. Brainwashing, said Yamikumo. That's Shinso's quirk. I'm not telling you how it works, you have to figure it by yourselves. Especially you, Midoriya, finished Yamikumo, making everyone nervous. Hitoshi Shinso. Quirk brainwashing. Hitoshi's quirk allows him to put someone in a state where they are forced to obey whatever he commands. He can only activate this power when his target very responds to something he says. Brainwashing needs to be intentionally activated and will not take effect if Hitoshi doesn't want it to. Shiro finished stepping out of the platform. Saro-kun is out of the platform. Shinso-kun is the winner, said Midnight, a little shocked by the quick result. Well, it was a short fight. Hitoshi Shinso advanced to the second round, said Present Mike. The public started clapping at Shinso and started saying you did good and don't worry to Shiro. Okay, everyone get ready for the third match. From one side, she is pink, energetic, and funny. From the Hero Department, Mina Ashido. Present Mike introduced Mina. From the other side, he is always serious and almost never smiles. Even so, thanks to his incredible strategies, he managed to go very far. From the Hero Department, Yamikumo Adanagi. Present Mike said while Yamikumo stepped inside the platform. Come on Yamikumo, you can do it. Yamikumo was surprised to see who was supporting him. With the rest of the audience were Akane and Kenji Atanagi, supporting him. Akane especially, she was holding a sign with the word Yamikumo on it. How did they manage to get some entrances? Suddenly he heard something else. Come on bro, you have this in the bag, another voice said. He turned to see some familiar faces in the public. They were Hanzo, Kui, Mai, Takeo, and Sayumi. Or Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Kitana, Jiraz and Devora respectively. They are also here. How did they manage to enter? You have some fans, huh? That doesn't mean I'm going to lose, said Mina. Okay, begin, said Midnight. Long story short, Mina used her acid to move around the platform and hit Yamikumo. However, Yamikumo managed to evade all of her attacks. In one of these, Yamikumo stayed on the edge of the platform. Seeing this, Mina took the opportunity to attack Yamikumo. However, the latter dodged the attack at the last second, causing the girl to lose her balance and fall off the platform. Ashidachin is out of the platform. Atanejikun is the winner, announced Midnight. The next battle was Momo versus Takoyami, and it was another short fight. Takoyami used Dark Shadow to quickly push Momo out of the platform before the girl could create anything more than a shield. The next match was Kanoko versus Denki. Kaminari tried to finish the match quickly by using his indiscriminatory discharge 1.3 million volts. However, Kanoko grew several mushrooms to protect herself from the attack and emerge unharmed from this attack. Unfortunately for Kaminari, the boy was left in his idiot state after the attack, making it easy for Kanoko to throw him off the platform. The next match was Ida versus Hatsum and was an interesting fight. Basically, Hatsum used Ida as a guinea pig to promote all her inventions. After 10 minutes, at the end of her presentation, she left the platform herself, giving the victory to Ida. The next match was Tetsu versus Kirishima. The battle was the definition of close combat. They both hit each other hard, with their quirks activated. Such was the ferocity that they both fell unconscious at the same time. The tiebreaker was a contest of strength between the two. The winner was Kirishima. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last match of the first round. Who will win will be the explosive guy from the hero department, Katsuki Bakugo, or it will be the gravity girl, my personal favorite, from the hero department, Achako Uraraka, said Present Mike. Bakugo and Uraraka stepped inside the platform. Uraraka was remembering the conversation she had with Izumi and Ida before her match. Flashback. I have a plan that can help you defeat Kachin, said Izumi. That's great, with that you can win, said Ida. Thanks, Deku-chan, but I will be fine, Uraraka said. I must stop depending on others to win right now. We are all rivals. That's why I will defeat Bakugo single-handedly. See you in the final, Uraraka said, giving Izumi and Ida thumbs up. Flashback end. Okay, both contestants ready. Begin, screamed Midnight. Uraraka quickly charged towards Bakugo in an attempt to make him float with her quirk. However, Bakugo fought back with an explosion which knocked the girl back. Although the attack comes, it is very difficult to dodge it, thought Uraraka. You better give up, said Bakugo. Suddenly, in front of him there was movement. Bakugo quickly attacked with another explosion. However, all he attacked was Uraraka's uniform shirt. The real Uraraka appeared behind Bakugo, hidden in the smoke from Bakugo's explosions. However, Bakugo quickly responded with another blast, this time hitting his target. Uraraka quickly stood up. However, Bakugo appeared in front of her and released an explosion against her. You are slow, said Bakugo. Managing to resist the explosion, Uraraka charged again against Bakugo. However, the only thing she found was another explosion. The situation began to repeat itself several times in a row. I can't keep watching this, said a pro hero. Hey, do you really want to be a hero if you see that the difference in power is so great? Just take her out of the ring, that hero screamed to Bakugo. Yes, she is just a girl, said another hero. Suddenly, several boos, directed at Bakugo, began to sound. The boos have started. To be honest, I feel bad too, ouch, said Present Mike, to later be beaten by Aizawa. Does he seem to you to be playing with her, was the one who said that a professional. If that's the case, you better get out of here, go home and find a new profession. He knows that his rival came here on her own merits. That is why he takes so many precautions. He is not underestimating her. After these words, everyone fell silent. Thank you, Bakugo. Thank you for not letting your guard down, said Uraraka. At that moment everyone looked up to the sky to see a lot of debris in the air. She always kept her distance from Bakugo. She always kept a low profile and kept Bakugo's attention on the ground while she prepared her weapons. Yamikumo said, from the beginning, he realized Uraraka's plan. I'm going to win, Uraraka yelled as she dropped the debris onto Bakugo. However, with a gigantic explosion, Bakugo destroyed all the debris. That was close, muttered Bakugo. After this attack, which also hit Uraraka, she collapsed to the ground. Uraraka-chan can't continue. Bakugo-kun is the winner, said Midnight. Bakugo goes to the next round. With this match, the first round is over. Let's make a quick rest and then continue with the second round, said Present Mike. Izumi headed to the infirmary to check on Uraraka. Halfway there she ran into Bakugo. Deku, it was you, right? You made that strategy. No, it was all Uraraka's plan. She gave you a good fight, she answered. Whatever, Bakugo said before leaving. Izumi was about to leave to the infirmary but was stopped by Shiro. Midoriya, I need to talk with you. It's about Shinso's quirk, he said. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to start the second round. On one side we have Izumi Midoriya. On the other, Hitoshi Shinso. Who will win, said while Izumi and Shinso stepped inside the platform. Start. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to start the second round. On one side we have Izumi Midoriya. On the other, Hitoshi Shinso. Who will win, said while Izumi and Shinso stepped inside the platform. Izumi was nervous. Yes, she had a plan, but that doesn't mean that she is relaxed. She remembered her conversation with Shiro before her fight. Flashback. Izumi finished listening to Shiro. So the last thing you remember is responding to Shinso-kun question and then you just black out. Yes, I don't know what happened. When I woke up, I was outside the platform. Adeniji-kun said that Shinso-kun's quirk is brainwashing. There must be a way that he managed to control you. Brainwashing, man, that's an awesome quirk. Right, he can do a lot of stuff with a quirk like that. He can capture villains without fighting. He can calm a lot of civilians easily. She started muttering. Midoriya, I think you should focus on your fight. Alright, there must be a way he can activate his quirk. You said that you answered his question before being brainwashed. Yes, that must be. You have to answer him in order to be brainwashed. You are so smart, Midoriya. Now you can beat him. Yes, thank you, Sarukan, Izumi said before going to the platform. Her match was about to begin. Flashback end. Okay, both contestants ready. Begin, screamed Midnight. So, you got first place in all the events. How does it feel to be the number one? Shinso asked but was surprised when Izumi didn't answer. That tape guy must have told her about my quirk. You have a really cool quirk. How does it feel to have such amazing power? Asked again and again. Izumi remained silent. What he didn't know was that Izumi was doing a difficult effort to not answer him. You do not know. I was never one of the lucky ones. She started running toward him. I always depended on others to move forward. She grabbed him by the neck of his shirt. Answer me, screamed Shinso while he hit Izumi in the face. Izumi is unfazed by that blow and with the same movement she used in her fight against Bakugo she managed to crash Shinso off the platform. Shinso-kun is out of the platform. Midoriya-chan is the winner, said Midnight. Shinso-kun, why do you want to be a hero? Asked Izumi. Because I want to save people. That's not enough, said Shinso before starting to leave, but before he could abandon the arena, he heard something. You were awesome, Shinso. You are the star from the general studies, said one of Shinso's classmates. You beat one of the hero course, and you were defeated by the girl who was first in the past two events. You shouldn't be ashamed of that. Besides, he said and pointed to some heroes. Brainwashing. What an amazing quirk. You did wrong by putting him in the general studies. They must have a lot of applicants, so they decided to go for the combat-oriented ones. But yeah, what a waste. After hearing this, a big smile appeared in Shinso's face. Midoriya, right, good luck in your next match. You will have the opponent, he said while leaving the arena. Yes, I know, she thought while looking at Yamikumo. She was completely sure that he would defeat Takoyami. Not that Takoyami was weak, it's just that Yamikumo's fire was the weakness of Dark Shadow. Yamikumo dodged another of Dark Shadow attacks. The quirk was persistent, he will give him that. But when it was going to attack again, Yamikumo lit himself on fire, making the quirk back down. When the quirk was close to his owner, Yamikumo trapped Takoyami in a fire ring, making Dark Shadow return completely to Takoyami. Then, Yamikumo crossed the fire like it was nothing, and pointed his right arm, set in fire, towards the bird-looking guy. I give up, said Takoyami. Takoyami-kun gives up. Adeniji-kun is the winner, said Midnight. Meanwhile in the stands. Wow, Adeniji won the fight, said Sato. He will be facing Midoriya-chan in the semifinals, said Tsuyu. After her words everyone stared at Izumi. True, do you have a plan? Asked Kaminari. No. He has finished all his fights quickly. Therefore, I do not have much data about him. Also, I'm completely sure that he hasn't used even half of his strength, said Izumi, but then she put a confident face. But that doesn't mean I'm going to give up. I'll find a way to defeat him. That's the spirit, girl, said Mina. You have to beat him. You have to avenge me. Yeah, I will. Another place in the stands. Yes, he did it, said Akane Adeniji. That's my son. Only 2 more and he will be the winner. You know that he technically isn't our son. We didn't legally adopt him, said Kenji Adeniji. Do I look like I care? Mother isn't the one who gives birth or the one who adopts. Mother is the one who raises, and I raised him since he was 4 and besides, he uses our last name, so he is our son, said Akane in a proud tone. Besides, he's going to be a big brother soon, she said while touching her belly. True. When are you going to tell him? Soon. He needs to focus on his studies first. The next match was Kanoko versus Ida. The girl tried to hit Ida but he, thanks to his quirk, managed to evade the blow. Recipro burst, Ida said as some blue flames came out of his engines and then tried to kick the girl but Kanoko managed to avoid it. I just have 10 seconds until my engines stop. It was Ida's thoughts during the fight, then, landing on the ground and leaping back. I have to win in that time. At that, Kanoko received a kick in the back from Ida, causing her to hit the ground. Ida took advantage of this and grabbed her by the collar of her shirt and began to drag her towards the edge of the platform. I only have 7 seconds left. I'll throw her off the platform. However, Ida's engine stopped, causing the boy to stop in his tracks. He turned to see his engines and was surprised to see them covered and clogged with mushrooms. Did you forget that I also could make mushrooms grow from any part from any human body? Asked Kanoko. The girl proceeded to free herself from Ida's grip and with a kick to the boy's jaw, she managed to send him flying and falling off the platform. Ida-kun is out of the platform. Kamurochi is the winner, said Midnight. The last fight from the second round was Bakugo versus Kirishima. Take this, Kirishima exclaimed as he threw a strong blow at Bakugo, which he managed to dodge. Bakugo fought back with an explosion to Kirishima's right side, but Kirishima didn't seem to be affected by it. That won't work on me, explosive guy, said Kirishima. Meanwhile, Bakugo just frowned. He isn't moving. This is more than just hardening. Meanwhile at the stands, Kirishima-kun or Kachin, whoever wins will face you, Kamurochi, said Izumi to her friend. Yes, I'm ready for this. Midoriya, let's win our matches and show the guys how it's done. She answered while putting her fist ready for a fist bump. You bet, said Izumi, fist bumping with Kanoko. Now, if you excuse me, I need to prepare for my fight against Adeniji-kun, she said, standing up from her seat and head into the anteroom. But then, Midoriya Todoroki draw everyone's attention. Good luck. Gee, thanks Todoroki-kun, she said with a smile and then left. Returning to the platform, Kirishima threw non-stop blows towards Bakugo, who was on the defensive. In one of these blows, Bakugo managed to dodge him and counterattack with a series of increasingly strong explosions. And the redhead could be seen with a pained expression. You've been trying hard to keep your body hard, Bakugo said while preparing another explosion. If I attack you quickly, sooner or later you will end up breaking. At this moment, Bakugo unleashed a series of multiple exposures, until the final blow died. With this, Bakugo gave an explosion to Kirishima's jaw, causing him to fly away, and then fall unconscious. Kirishima-kun can't continue. The winner is Bakugo-kun, said Midnight. With this fight we finish the second round. We will give a 10-minute rest and then we will continue with the semifinals, announced President Mike. Izumi was heading to the platform. The rest has ended and her match against Yamikumo was about to begin. But in the way she was met by Endeavor. Endeavor, I've seen your fight. Let me say that the only reason you beat my son was because he didn't had control over his fire. But that isn't important right now. You will be facing a strong opponent, girl. Another fire quirk user. Think of this fight as a preparation to fight Shoto when he can control his fire. What are you talking about? You remind me of All Might. Your quirk is similar to his. It's Shoto's job to defeat him. I will not take more time from you. Sorry for interrupting you, said Endeavor while leaving, but I'm not All Might, said Izumi. I know. That's obvious. That's obvious, right? That means that Todoroki-kun isn't you, Izumi said while leaving to the platform. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the semifinals had begun. From one side, this girl has surprised us with incredible fights and great power. Izumi Midoriya, President Mike said while Izumi stepped inside the platform. From the other side, he has defeated his rivals quickly, with an expression that hardly changes. Yamikumo Adenagi, President Mike said while Yamikumo entered the platform. Both competitors are ready, asked Midnight while Yamikumo and Izumi nodded. In that case, begin. Hearing this, Yamikumo fired a blast of fire towards Izumi. 15% smash with a punch. Izumi managed to make the fire disappear. However, Yamikumo was no longer in his position. Instinctively, Izumi looked up, only to see Yamikumo about to hit her with a fire punch. Rolling, Izumi managed to dodge Yamikumo's blow. However, using the fire that resulted from the blow, Yamikumo used his quirk to make the fire start to chase Izumi. That's bad. 20% Delaware smash with the F of her finger. Izumi managed to make the fire disappear. She then saw her finger, it was trembling. Your reflexes have improved. But that's not enough to beat me, Yamikumo said. Hearing that, Izumi, activating full cal, charged towards Yamikumo trying to hit with several punches. However, Yamikumo managed to block each of her attacks. In one of these blows, Yamikumo catches Izumi's fist. Using this, Yamikumo pulls Izumi closer to him, after which Yamikumo hits her in the center of the making her fly. However, before Izumi flies away, Yamikumo grabs her by the ankle and then smashes her to the ground, after which he kicks her away. Luckily for Izumi, she falls close to the edge of the platform. Izumi manages to stand with difficulty. Not only is he strong, his reflexes and reaction time are incredible. Pointing both hands towards Yamikumo, Izumi fs one finger in each hand. Double Delaware smash, 2 blasts of air are thrown at Yamikumo. Seeing this, Yamikumo uses a wall of fire to stop both blasts. When the fire disappears, Izumi stands in front of Yamikumo, prepared to hit him in the face. However, Yamikumo catches her fist again. At this, Izumi smiles slightly. With his free hand he holds Yamikumo's wrist, releases his trapped hand, turns to turn her back at Yamikumo and manages to connect an elbow to Yamikumo's face, making him back away. Interesting, Yamikumo said to later wipe the that fell from his nose. Time to get serious. After saying this, Yamikumo appeared in front of Izumi, giving her a strong elbow in the stomach of her, then grabbing her by the collar of her shirt and then giving her a headbutt on her head. Finally, with his free hand, shooting her some fire, and sending it to fly and fall near the edge of the platform. Izumi quickly recovers and charges against Yamikumo again. This time when she was in front of Yamikumo, she disappeared from Yamikumo's field of view to reappear behind him and quickly hit him with a kick to the back. Yamikumo takes a turn in the air to compose himself and see Izumi in front of him again. Their fists collide to create a small air wave. This repeats itself for several seconds consecutively. In one of these blows, Izumi manages to hit Yamikumo and sending him to fly. Taking advantage of this, Izumi approaches again to hit him again and repeats this several times until they are close to the edge of the platform. Before being able to hit Yamikumo off the platform, the latter unleashes a large amount of fire to ward off Izumi and recover from the blows. Meanwhile at the stands, I can't believe it. Midoriya is fighting on the same level as Adanagi, said Kaminari while watching the fight. I would not think the same, Todoroki said, getting everyone's attention. It may seem that they are in the same level, but Adanagi still does not use all his power. He still hasn't used that transformation that he used when he fought against that nomu thing. Maybe he is underestimating Midoriya. No, Kinoko interrupted. Yamika never underestimates anyone. Maybe he wants to face Midoriya in the same level, said Mina. Maybe, but still Deku-chan is giving him a hard time, said Uraraka. I can't deny that Midoriya-san is doing a good job, Ida said, but suddenly he started to shake. Sorry, my phone. He grabbed his phone. Mother, he stands up. Sorry, I have to pick up, he said before leaving. Another place in the stands. Wow, that girl is strong. It's been a while since someone gave Yamikumo a good fight, said Hanzo. True, but Yamikumo-san hasn't used that fire soul thing that he told us, said Takeo. True, but still, this is a great fight, said Hanzo. Man, I wish the rest was here, said Kui. Me too, but Stain, Gentle and La Brava cannot enter here for obvious reasons. Koichi and Kazuo are on vacations and Iwao is nowhere to be found, said Mai. Too bad for them, said Sayumi. Returning to the fight, Izumi was dodging all the fires that Yamikumo was launching towards her. After dodging one of the fires, she quickly pointed her hand at Yamikumo and did a Delaware smash against him. The boy, with the fire, managed to stop the attack. Izumi landed and then began to feel a slight pain in her fingers. My fingers, I've been overusing them. They are starting to feel numb. I can't keep going like this. Despite having been able to hit him on several occasions, he is still in a better state than me, Izumi thought, to then see Yamikumo crouch down and put a hand on the ground. At that instant, the small debris on the platform began to rise. From one moment to the next, debris began to head towards her. In an easy way, Izumi dodged all the debris. However, when landing after dodging the last debris, Yamikumo appeared next to her and hit her with a blast of fire. Several seconds passed and Izumi still did not get up from the ground. I guess it's over, Yamikumo said while waiting for the midnight announcement. Midoriya-chan can't continue, the winner is, but before he could finish, Midnight noticed something. Izumi was getting up. I still can fight, said Izumi. She got up out of sheer will, thought Yamikumo. Izumi charged at Yamikumo again, but this time her attacks were faster. Yamikumo could barely dodge the attacks. In one of these, Izumi managed to hit him in the face, then attacking. With a series of consecutive blows, she managed to send him flying and falling on the edge of the platform. Yamikumo quickly gets up and lights his arms on fire, awaiting the next attack, which never came. Looking at Izumi, he could see that she was standing still. Her hair darkened his eyes. Is she unconscious? Noticing this, Midnight leaned over to check on the girl. Quickly realizing that the girl was indeed unconscious. Midoriya-chan can't continue, the winner is Adanagi-kun, she announced. Meanwhile in the stands, Midori lost, but she gave Adanagi-kun a great fight, said Mina. I agree, and despite being unconscious, she still stands, said Kaminari. She stands on her feet solely because of her will to win. We can't deny that she is amazing, said Kirishima. In the platform, cheers and applause could be heard. Yamikumo was watching Izumi being taken to the infirmary so she can rest. You did good. It's been a while since someone gave me a good fight. After this, Yamikumo left the platform. The next match was Kanoko versus Bakugo. Bakugo was fired by one of his explosions towards Kanoko, who thanks to her reflexes manages to avoid the blow and try to attack Bakugo with a punch. However, Bakugo launched another explosion which was blocked by a mushroom that Kanoko grew in front of her. And so, the attacks continued, explosions, blows and mushrooms. Bakugo was getting desperate, but then he noticed that Kanoko made a bad move that left her uncovered. Quickly moving in front of her, Bakugo slams her hand against the platform floor, creating an explosion which sent Kanoko flying slightly, but enough to knock her off the platform. Kamurochi is out of bounds. Bakugo-kun is the winner, announced Midnight. So, the final is Adanagi versus Bakugo, said Kaminari. Two of the strongest in our class, this is going to be incredible, said Kirishima. What did I miss? Izumi arrived at the stands. Midori, you are here, we are at the final. Adanagi-kun versus Bakugo-kun, said Mina. So, Kachin won his fight. Wait, where is Ida-kun? Asked Izumi while taking a seat between Mina and Uraraka. He had to go. A family emergency, said Uraraka. Too bad for him. I hope everything is okay, said Izumi. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for has come. The final round. On one side, you have the most serious person I have ever met, second only to Eraserhead. Yamikumo, Adanagi said present mic while Yamikumo stepped inside the platform. On the other hand, we have the most angry person I have ever met. Katsuki, Bakugo said present mic while Bakugo stepped inside the platform. Both competitors are ready, asked Midnight, while Yamikumo and Bakugo nodded. In that case, begin. In that, both boys ran towards the other and then clashed their arms and started a struggle between the two. Several seconds later they separated, only to launch the attack against the other again. Bakugo threw a kick at Yamikumo, who used his forearm to cover himself from the blow, but immediately had to release his leg to intercept a punch from Bakugo and several others, until Yamikumo kicked Bakugo's stomach, and then jumped in the air to take distance. At that, Bakugo ran towards Yamikumo to attack, when he was close to trying to punch him with his right hand. However, Yamikumo managed to grab his right arm and then grab him by force and smash Bakugo on the ground. Bakugo quickly gets up off the ground. Did he read my movements? I have been analyzing all your matches, from training with All Might to the ones you had in this tournament, and I realized something. You always start with a punch with your right arm, said Yamikumo, surprising Bakugo. After saying this, Yamikumo ran to hit Bakugo with a punch, which Bakugo tried to catch, only for Yamikumo to crouch down and punch him in the stomach. However, Bakugo quickly collected himself and grabbed Yamikumo by the hair, and then lifted him up and kneed him in the stomach to make him back a few meters. Quickly, Bakugo ran towards Yamikumo, preparing an explosion in his right hand, and once he was in front of Yamikumo, who had already recovered from the blow, the explosion happened, creating a smoke screen which covered both fighters. Once the smoke cleared, he revealed himself to Yamikumo, taking Bakugo's arm by force, deflecting the attack to the left. However, the left part of Yamikumo's shirt was destroyed. Knowing Bakugo, and according to his fight against Midoriya in the combat training, now Bakugo will get impatient and try to attack again. Yamikumo thought as he released Bakugo's arm and crouched down to avoid a kick from Bakugo. Yamikumo quickly walked away and started shooting fires at Bakugo. The explosive boy just began to dodge the fires, then in a moment stick his hands to the platform and create an explosion, causing some debris to fly at his height, and with a slight explosion propel them towards Yamikumo. Seeing this, Yamikumo simply stopped the debris with his telekinesis. But to Yamikumo's surprise, Bakugo would use this as a distraction to position himself behind Yamikumo. Surprise! Scars! Bakugo exclaimed the moment his skin became shiny, and smoke began to come out of it, and then punch him in the cheek of Yamikumo, but surprisingly, from that blow, an explosion occurred. Once recovered, Yamikumo turned to Bakugo to be surprised. What's up, Scars? Surprised Bakugo asked with a smile upon seeing Yamikumo's reaction. Meanwhile at the stands, what happened? Asked Uraraka. Look, Bakugo looks different. Kaminari pointed at Bakugo. And it was true, Bakugo's skin had taken on an orange tone, while smoke was coming from all parts of his body. Returning to the fight. Surprised I created this just for you, said Bakugo. When you defeated that Nomu, I realized the true level of the UA, but what surprised me the most was your fire soul, so I was thinking of some way to rival that power, and it was during my training that I realized it. You see, my quirk allows me to sweat nitroglycerin off my palms and create explosions. So, I thought, why just my hands, why not make my whole body sweat nitroglycerin? It took me a while, but Bakugo hit the ground and, from that hit, an explosion occurred. I could do it. It was thanks to you that I managed to overcome my limits and reach this level, and it is exactly against you that I wanted to test this new power. I call it explosive skin. At that moment, Bakugo ran towards Yamikumo, managing to hit him in the face, which produced an explosion which sent him flying slightly. However, Bakugo would continue to attack with a series of blows, which produced explosions, to finally hit him in the stomach, which sent him flying. Yamikumo recovers quickly and lands inside the platform. I see, the truth is that you impressed me, Bakugo. I never saw that transformation coming. You say it was thanks to me that you managed to reach that level. In that case, it would be an insult not to fight with all my strength against you. After this yell, Yamikumo activates his fire soul state. Quickly, both boys collide their fists, creating an explosion of fire. After struggling for a few seconds, they both separate, then hit their fists again, then a kick from both sides, colliding with each other, and thus, the blows came and went, explosions included. In one of these exchanges, Bakugo managed to grab Yamikumo's neck and then hit him in the stomach and force him back. Quickly recovering, Yamikumo released a blast of fire from his mouth towards his enemy. Bakugo, using his explosions, manages to evade the attack, and from the air he can see how Yamikumo, seeing that his attack failed, undoes the attack. And so, they continued with their punch fight. In a second, Yamikumo appeared in front of him with a fist ready to attack him. Bakugo used his hand to stop the blow. After that, Yamikumo jumped to get behind him and tried to kick him, but Bakugo managed to duck and then catch his foot and throw him. Yamikumo managed to recover in the air, then used the fire to propel himself towards Bakugo, preparing a strong blow for him. Bakugo, wanting to intercept, put his two hands in the air towards Yamikumo, preparing a possible explosion. But then, Bakugo felt a strong blow to his chin which caused him to rise a couple of meters into the air. The reason, Yamikumo increased his speed to appear below Bakugo and kick him in the chin, taking advantage of the fact that he was distracted. To later, give him more kicks, one to the back and others to the stomach, and then rise a little higher to be on top of Bakugo to punch him. But the explosive blonde reacted in time to deliver a punch of his own before Yamikumo managed to hit him with his own. Once they both fell to the platform, they both stood up and ran towards the other. Bakugo prepared an attack with his right hand, but Yamikumo managed to catch his arm before that and then hit him on the cheek and send him almost to the platform edge. After that, Yamikumo started running towards Bakugo, preparing a strong blow. While Bakugo once again stood up, he prepared to intercept him. But in that, shit, the blonde complained the moment his skin returned to its normal coloration, and he felt his body tremble. Shit, I've already reached the limit, my body can't keep holding this shape any longer, even worse, I can't even use my explosions. And in that, when Yamikumo was about to reach Bakugo, Yamikumo felt that suddenly, his feet did not move and then fell to the ground, at the moment when the fire soul left his body completely. Shit, I went overboard with the use of the fire soul. At least this time I managed to hold out with it longer. But in that, he received a strong kick to the face which made him rise slightly in the air, and then fall backwards on the platform. The reason, although Bakugo lost his explosive skin, he decided to continue the fight and use his fists this time. So, then he walked over to Yamikumo and kicked him, and then got on top of him and started hitting him in the face, taking advantage of the fact that Yamikumo was motionless at that moment. Yamikumo could only receive the blows of Bakugo, because due to the fire soul his body did not respond to him to be able to defend himself. But when Bakugo was about to deliver a new blow, Yamikumo managed to regain mobility and gave Bakugo a headbutt to the face, and then kicked his stomach and started to get up. Bakugo got to his feet and then ran towards Yamikumo, who also ran towards him, and they both landed a blow to the other's face. Yamikumo then struck a blow to Bakugo's right side, and Bakugo responded with another blow to the face. Another blow from Yamikumo this time hit Bakugo's stomach, while this boy hit Yamikumo in the jaw and then launched a right blow towards Yamikumo that used his left arm to cover. But apparently it was a ruse, as Bakugo stopped his punch to give a left punch to Yamikumo's face. And so, the hits came and went. All the viewers just started to see these two guys started hitting each other for a couple of minutes. Although the closest friends to these two began to worry a bit as they slowly began to get tired. The minutes had passed, and these two are still in their fight. But you could see in their movements that they were already tired and had reached their limit. Since each time they tried to strike at the other, they both fell to the ground and then tried to get up and repeat the same process over and over again. But in that, when they were both in front, they both launched a blow towards the other. But since they had lost almost all their strength, the blows had no effect, and they fell to their knees, looking at each other. At that, Bakugo stood up, very barely. And at that, to the surprise of both Yamikumo and the others, Bakugo's left arm took on the orange coloration from before and smoke came out of it. I'm taking a risk using this again, but I'll prove I'll become number one. But before he managed to hit Yamikumo, the boy managed to recover suddenly and gave Bakugo a strong blow to the jaw, not only making him lose concentration, but also sending him to the other side of the platform where they were. It's time to finish this, said Yamikumo. Bakugo, getting up, only closed his eyes when he took a sigh and then closed his left fist, which then turned orange again but with even more intensity than before. While Yamikumo, he just closed his eyes the moment the fire soul returned, but this time in his right arm. But the intensity of the power he was using now was even more, since the right part of his shirt had burned. Both Midnight and Cementos, like the rest of the spectators when they saw this, knew what they were preparing, and they knew that they had to be stopped before something bad happened. At that, they both started running towards each other. At that moment, Cementos created several barriers to try to stop the passage between these two, while Midnight broke a part of his clothes to release the sleeping gas. But just when the two of them had reached the barrier that was trying to stop them, they both took a great leap to propel themselves into the air. Bakugo used his free hand to propel himself with his explosions, while Yamikumo used his telekinesis to propel himself. And there they saw them, seemingly flying, each being propelled into the air with their quirks. And it happened. The attacks of both boys hit the air, colliding for a few seconds, and then emitting a shocking sound for a few seconds. After the shock itself, a glow was produced which then covered both boys and then exploded, causing a great roar and wind that made many had to hold tightly to their seats before such a clash between these two. And once the explosion was over, a huge smoke screen covered them both. Once the smoke began to disappear, two figures could be observed. Bakugo was face down on the ground, while Yamikumo was standing with his shirt destroyed, not only showing his bare torso, but also the multiple scars on his body. Bakugo tried to stand up again but couldn't. Still, he didn't give up. It's okay, Bakugo. It's enough. It is not bad to admit a defeat, but if it makes you feel better, you are the person who has cost me the most to defeat. Also, this match made me feel excited again. I haven't been excited about a match in a long time. Thank you. After these words, Bakugo collapsed unconscious. The Bakugo-kun can't continue. Adeniji-kun is the winner after the midnight announcement. People started clapping and cheering. That was an incredible match. Meanwhile at the stands, yes, he did it. That's my son, cheered Akane. He did good. Still, that boy put up an incredible fight, said Kenji. Another part of the stands. That was incredible, said Hanzo. Indeed, said Takeo. The rest of the crew was cheering and clapping for Yamikumo. Back at the platform, And now all the events have been completed. This year's winner for first years at UA is from the hero course, Yamikumo Adanagi. And that was over. This fight, it was over. Fireworks exploded at the top of the stadium, while the entire audience was cheering, and the first-year students were in the middle of the stadium. All first-year UA Sports Festival events are over, midnight announcement, and now we will begin with the awards ceremony, and the whole stadium cheered again, while the fireworks went out again to give more importance to the event. And in that, a large pedestal came out of the ground, which had 3 columns, one higher than the other and one had its own number. Those columns were the places for the first, second, and third place. The third place is occupied by 2 people, Izumi and Kanoko, who gave a smile while greeting the audience. Needless to say, Izumi was very nervous. In second place, there was Bakugo, who was standing on the column with crossed arms and apparently with almost his entire body bandaged, and the occasional gauze on his cheeks, and his gaze was one of boredom and seriousness. While in first place, there was Yamikumo, who had various bandages on his body, who also had a serious look, but as usual, that look hid his nervousness. Now, we are going to award the medals, Midnight said, calling everyone's attention. The awarding of medals will of course be by this man. That laugh caught the attention of many at this time, and many already knew who he was. At that, from the roof of the stadium, the number 1 hero took a great leap to be in the air for a couple of seconds. I have brought the medals here, and then fall and land on the ground. At that, Midnight approached the hero with the medals. Now, All Might, hand out the medals starting with third place. At that, they both approached Kanoko and Izumi. Young Komori and young Midoriya. Congratulations, said the hero, placing the bronze medals on both girls. I'm sure you are strong, keep it that way, and never give up. Yes, sensei, yes, All Might, both girls answered. Then they approached Bakugo. Young Bakugo, congratulations, you may be in second place, but remember that. Yes, I know, said Bakugo, cutting All Might. Believe me, this is not over yet. Without a doubt, I'll be number 1. That's the spirit, young Bakugo, said the hero at the moment of putting the silver medal on the blonde. And finally, they reached the first place, where Izuku was, who was scratching the back of his head with some nerves. Young Adanagi, you've done a great job getting here. Take this medal, as a symbol of your own effort. Yamikumo just nodded with a smile. At that, All Might looked back at where the others were. Well, they were the winners this time, but listen up everyone, anyone here could have ended up in these places. It's just as competing, improve each other and climb even higher. The next generation of heroes is definitely sprouting, so I just have one more thing to say, everyone. Say it with me. Plus ultra. With this, the sports festival came to an end. Meanwhile, at the villain's hideout, Shigaraki was pissed. The guy who defeated his Nomu had won this event. Sensei, that's the one in first place is the student who defeated Nomu. I see. Let me do a little research on him. I may have something prepared. Be patient, young Tamura. Soon you will be able to take revenge on him, said a sinister voice. Shigaraki just smirks evilly. 2 days have passed since the sports festival. Yamikumo and Kanoko were in the train heading to the UA, but then someone recognized Yamikumo. Excuse me, said the person, drawing not only Yamikumo's attention, but the rest of the people in the train as well. You were Adanagi-kun, from the hero course. Awesome. You were the first place. That fight was awesome. Wait, the girl next to him isn't Commerson, the one that came in third place. Double awesome. Luckily, the train arrived at their station. Sorry, but we need to go, said Kanoko while the duo stepped out of the train and made their way to UA. By the time they arrived at the classroom, there were only Momo and Todoroki, like usual, but a few minutes later the rest of their classmates arrived. The people were cheering to me in the way here. Me too. Some people were watching me. I was nervous. Me too. Yamikumo wasn't paying attention to his classmates' conversations, but then he saw Ada enter the room. He quickly stood up and went straight to Ada, who was being followed by Izumi. Ada, I heard what happened to your brother. I know I'm not the most sociable person, but if you want to talk about it, I'm here, said Yamikumo. I appreciate the gesture, Adanagi-kun, but, as I already told Midoriya-san, everything is okay. Sorry for worrying you, answered Ada before leaving to his seat. He was lying, said Kanoko in a worried tone. Yes, but if he doesn't want to talk about it, there's nothing we can do. I just hope he doesn't do anything stupid, said Yamikumo while returning to his seat. Like try to face Stain by himself. No, Ada is smart enough. A few minutes later Aizawa arrived, this time without all the bandages he had. Good morning, said Aizawa in his usual tired tone. Today we will have a special heroic class. But before that I have an announcement to do. Before he could continue, he saw Ada raising his hand. Yes, Ada. I noticed that there is an extra seat in this classroom. There must be a mistake. There is no mistake. This is part of the announcement I had. I'll do it quick. From now on you will be having a new classmate, said Aizawa. What everyone was surprised by this, except for Yamikumo, Todoroki, who just raised an eyebrow, and Bakugo, who didn't care. Well, kind of. You can come in, said Aizawa. When he finished, the door opened and a person stood in front of the class. Him, thought Izumi. Interesting, thought Yamikumo. Some of you already know him, but I still introduce you to Hitoshi Shinso. He will be joining you in exclusive hero course activities. Wait, does that mean one of us will be expelled, asked Zero, making everyone worried. No, in the rules it was never said that if someone enters the hero course, another should be expelled or removed from it. That only applied if any of you did not meet expectations at the sports festival, said Aizawa, calming everyone. Wait, you said that he is almost our classmate, said Mina. Well, Shinso managed to stand out at the sports festival. The principal decided to put him to the test. He's still part of the general studies, so he will be taking his regular classes with that group. But when it's time for any hero lesson, he will be joining either class or B for that activity. If he manages to meet the expectations, from the second year he will be joining the hero course, either class or B, permanently. If not, he will be returned to general studies. Since this is a hero lesson, he will be joining us today. Any questions? No one said anything. Good. Shinso, go and take a seat. Shinso took a seat. He was completely nervous. Continuing with today's class, today you must think and choose your hero names. Everyone got excited about this. This is related to those who were selected by the professionals. After the sports festival, several of you received offers to do your practices with the hero. Next I will show you the selected ones, said Aizawa to then present the offers. Yamikumo Adanagi 5201. Katsuki Bakugo 4250. Izumi Midoriya 3556. Shoto Todoroki 3027. Kanoko Komori 1503. Fumikage Takoyami 360. Tenya Ida 301. Denki Kaminari 272. Momoye Urazu 108. Ijiro Kirishima 68. Achako Uraraka 20. Hantasiro 14. Hitoshi Shinso 5. Everyone was surprised by the difference, but the most surprised from everyone was Shinso. He didn't expect to have some offers. Usually the offers are more even, but this year the attention was taken by these 5. I can see almost everyone, but didn't Todoroki was eliminated at the first round, asked Kaminari. Probably because of my father, said Todoroki. For those who have not received offers, do not worry, I will provide you with a list of various heroes who agreed to accept some students for their internships, said Aizawa. Although your names are provisional, think of a suitable one. If not, you paid for it later, said Midnight, interrupting Aizawa. Right, Midnight will help you evaluate your names. I cannot do that, said Aizawa while remembering when he chose his hero name. To be more exact, Present Mike chose his name for him. My hero name, thought Izumi. My hero name, I never thought about it, thought Yamikumo. 15 minutes later. Okay, let's start. What already has your name? Come and expose it, said Midnight. I'll go first, said Aoyama while standing in front of everyone. I'll be the shiny hero. I cannot stop twinkling, he said while everyone got sweat drops. Well, if you remove the I and change the cannot to can't, it would be better, said Midnight. My turn, said Mina while stepping in front of everyone. I'll be Alien Queen. Are you trying to be like that acid thing? I would use another name, said Midnight. I don't care. I want this name, said Mina. Just because she had that name and released acid from her body, it didn't mean that she was going to be like the alien in the movie. And so, several began to show their hero names. It was Shinso's turn to show his name. I'll be the mental hero. Brainstorm, he said in a nervous tone. Nice, that was Midnight opinion. We only need to check the names of Bakugo-kun, Ada-kun, Adanagi-kun and Midoriya-san. Yamikumo was staring at his board. He never thought about a hero name. I need a name. I don't want to call me Headhunter. It doesn't feel right. After this thought, a memory flashed through his mind. Flashback. A few weeks before the Riverdale incident. Fireheart, said Zack in an excited tone. Yamikumo stopped reading. What, he asked. You know, my hero name. It will be Fireheart. Why, you have nothing to do with fire. My heart is as hot and bright as fire. With it I will illuminate the darkness within people's hearts. If you say so, said Yamikumo while returning to his reading. Flashback end. Yamikumo smiled at this memory. He then decided. Ada showed his name. He chose to use his personal name, Tenya. I'll go next, said Yamikumo while standing in front of everyone. I'll be the pyrokinesis hero Fireheart. I like it, but I have the weird feeling to ask, why, said Midnight. After thinking a few seconds, Yamikumo answered. My heart is as hot and bright as fire. With it I will illuminate the darkness within people's hearts, he said with a slight smile on his face. I love it. Finally, Izumi chose Deku as her hero name while Bakugo, let's say that his name was still on the making. You have until weekend to decide, said Aizawa, ending the class. This is too much, said Kanoko while watching her list of offers. I know. It will take me an eternity to decide, said Izumi. Did you already decided, Yaoyorozu? Asked Jiru to her friend. Yes, I'll go with you, Abami, she answered. If I were you, I wouldn't choose her, said Yamikumo, calling her attention. Why, she is the best offer I have. That it is the best offer does not mean that it is the ideal one. Look, Uabami is special. I'm not saying she's a bad hero, but I don't think you'll learn much from her. He then grabbed Momo's offers. Here, I recommend you to go with her, he said, signaling an offer. The rabbit hero, Mirko. She might be a relative new hero, but she is rising through the ranks quickly. I have no doubt that you will learn a lot from her. I see. Where do you know her from? I saw her in action once, he said while subconsciously feeling a slight pain in his right arm. Besides having fought her once. But I better not say that. I see. I guess I'll take your suggestion. Thanks. Yamikumo just nodded and returned to his seat. Well, there's that. What about you, Achikachin? Asked Mina. I'll go with Gunhead. I have an offer from him. I thought you wanted to be a hero like 13. Yes, but the fight against Bakugo opened my eyes. If I just focus on what I already know, I'll stay behind. Yamikumo smiled at his friend, then returned to his offers. Let's see, Endeavor would be a great choice. I can improve my fire with him, and besides, I use one of his moves like Mind Best Genist might be an interesting choice. I can learn a lot of new stuff with him. What else I have? Ryukyu, Fat Gum, Hawksweight. This name, he stopped his thought when he spotted a specific name. Sir Night-Eye. That name brought him an interesting memory. Flashback. A few weeks after meeting All Might, Yamikumo was sitting in the park near his house. He was admiring the peace and quiet of the day. Suddenly a person sat next to him. He looked normal, just that he had a centipede instead of his head. We have a nice weather today, said the man. Yeah, he said while secretly grabbing his katana, which was hidden. Look, I'm not really good with this, so I'll just say it, said the man. I'm here to deliver a message for you. Adenajisen, someone is really interested in you. He is not the first one, said Yamikumo while preparing to fight. You don't have to worry. This message is from a hero. This made Yamikumo relax a little, but he still was ready for a fight. Okay, I'm listening. I can't say much. He wants you to remember these words. Sir Night-Eye. Sir Night-Eye, I don't understand. You don't have to. When the time comes, you will. The man said to then stand up. Remember, Sir Night-Eye. The man then left. My life is getting weirder every day. Yamikumo thought. Flashback end. Yamikun Kanoko snapped him out of his thoughts. Is someone in there? Sorry, I was thinking about the offers I have. I feel you. Anyway, time for lunch, let's go. Sure, said Yamikumo. He then saw his offer list. Sir Night-Eye, I guess it's worth giving it a try. When the group was about to leave to the cafeteria, All Might appeared from nowhere. I'm here standing in a weird position. Oh, All Might, what are you doing here? Asked Izumi. You have some extra offers, young Midoriya, so I need you to come with me so I can give them to you. Also, young Adenagi, you also have some extra offers, so I need both of you to come with me. Sure, I guess. They both said. We'll save you a place at the table. What do you want? Asked Mina. Katsuden, they both said at the unison. Okay, I'll be quick, young Midoriya, you have another offer, but this one is quite special. His name is Gran Torino. At this moment, All Might started trembling. He was a teacher here, but only for a year. Besides being my teacher, he also knows about One for All. Maybe that's why he selected you. At this moment, All Might was shaking in fear. To see, I guess I'll go with him. He can help me with the One for All, said Izumi, but her thoughts were different. All Might is shaking in fear. Who is this guy? That's interesting, but why am I here? Asked Yamikumo. Since this is related to One for All, I thought that you should know. Fair enough. At least you used a good excuse this time, said Yamikumo. If that's all, I guess we should get going. The Katsuden isn't going to being eaten by itself. Why yes, Izumi said while following Yamikumo. Wait, Adenajikun, this wasn't exactly an excuse. There are some extra offers for you. I see. Doesn't matter, I already decided where to go. After this, Yamikumo and Izumi left. At the cafeteria. This was a weird scene. All of Yamikumo and Izumi's friends were watching the duo eat their food with weird faces. You see, everything was normal. When the duo arrived, they seated beside each other, grabbed their food, and started eating. This is when everything turned to be weird. It wasn't the fact that they asked the same thing to eat, or that they seated beside each other. No, the problem was that they were eating the food at the exact time, with the perfect coordination. The two of them would take a piece of food, put it in their mouths, chew it, and swallow it at the exact same time. Noticing the stares, Yamikumo asked. What? Nothing, it's just that, said Uraraka, trying to find a way to explain this. Now that you are eating, we just realized that you two look quite alike, said Kaminari. What are you talking about? Asked Izumi in a confused tone. Don't you see it, Midori, Adenajikun, and you share a lot of similarities. Your hair has a similar color, maybe he has a slight darker tone and different hairstyle. But still, said Mina. Yes. Besides that, you both have the same marks on your cheeks, although Yamikun only has them on his left cheek, said Kanoko. And you both have the same facial shape, only that Adenajikun has a more mature appearance, in addition to all his scars that make it difficult to observe the similarities between you. Are you sure you aren't related? Said Uraraka. If only you knew, thought Yamikumo. I think you are overthinking this. Whatever, dude. Anyways, Kinokachin, Achikachin, Midori, I need to talk with you at the end of the school, said Mina. Okay, sure, guys, said the girls. Outside the school. After the school ends, Uraraka, Kanoko, and Izumi reunited with Mina outside the school. For their surprise, there was Momo, Jiru, and Suyu as well. Good. Everyone is here, said Mina. I wanted to talk with you about an important topic. And what's that topic? Asked Momo. As you know, we are only 7 girls against the 13 boys in our class. That's why I thought we should have a girls' night out. To get to know each other. I was thinking and, in the end, I thought that the best thing would be a sleepover, said Mina. Oh, I like that idea. Count me in, said Uraraka. Me too, Kanoko said. I see what you are trying to do, and I like that idea, said Momo. Sure, said Jiro. I also like to join, said Tsuyu. That's a great idea. I'm in too, said Izumi. Nice. It's settled then. I already asked my parents and they said that you can come to my house. How about tomorrow? After agreeing, the girls decided that tomorrow they would meet at Mina's house for a girls' sleepover. Next day, nighttime. I'm leaving, Mom. See you tomorrow, said Izumi to her mother while exiting her home. She had a small luggage in which she has her clothes and school uniform. The girls decided that they would go to school together tomorrow. Okay, honey, be careful and have fun. I am so happy that you have meetings with your friends, said Inko. Izumi just smiled at her mother and headed towards Mina's house. Unknown to the two of them, a figure was watching this from the roof of the building in front of theirs. It was Yamikumo. He was waiting for Izumi to leave so he could talk to Inko. He wanted to talk to Inko first, and depending on how everything turns out, he will talk to Izumi. Once Izumi left, Yamikumo used his telekinesis to levitate to the door of the Midoriya residence. He hesitated for a few moments. He wasn't sure about doing this, but he knew that sooner or later he would have to face this. After a few minutes he knocked the door. Inko opened the door and was surprised by who knocked the door. Adeniji-kun. What are you doing here if you are looking for Izumi? She isn't here. Yes, I know. I'm actually looking for you. I think we have to talk about something, answered Yamikumo. Inko was about to ask, but then she saw Yamikumo take something out of your pocket and showing it to her. It was a paper, and when she saw the content she was speechless. The papers were Yamikumo adoption papers. Izuku, I think we need to talk, said Yamikumo. After this, Inko let Yamikumo enter the house. He took a seat at the dining table. Do you want something to drink? Asked Inko. Do you have chamomile tea? After Inko prepared the drinks, she sat down in front of Yamikumo. The atmosphere was uncomfortable and tense. Silence was predominant until, so I don't know what to say, said Inko. If you don't know what to say, then answer me. Why? What happened? What were your reasons for doing it? I need to know, said Yamikumo. I guess it's fair. Before you two were born, Hisashi, my husband, earned enough for us both to have a good life, yet we still wanted to have a child. We could afford to have a child. The money was enough but fair. The news that we would have twins made our hearts very happy at first. A small smile appears on Inko's face to quickly disappear. However, Hisashi was not earning enough to support two children and give them a good life. I had to make one of the most painful decisions of my entire life. In the end, it was you who we decided to adopt. A couple of years later, Hayashi got a job abroad and started to earn more. However, the last I heard from you was that you were adopted by another family. After that, I never heard from you again, until now. I wanted you to have a good life and a family that would love you and give you the life that I couldn't. She started crying. I am a terrible mother. Instinctively, Yamikumo got up from his seat and gave Inko a hug. You are not. You did that thinking about the best for your children. If it makes you feel better, I forgive you, Yamikumo said and then broke the hug. To be honest, I am somewhat relieved. For a moment I thought you didn't want me or something like that. Knowing the truth is something reassuring. This calmed Inko a bit. At that moment she looked at Yamikumo's face, his scars to be more exact. She had seen them before, but now that she knows who he is, she couldn't help but worry. Why your face? What happened? I guess you deserve to know. Have you ever heard about the Riverdale incident? Asked Yamikumo. At that, Inko could only open his eyes in surprise and concern. Well, I was the kid that survived that incident. I guess you went back to the orphanage and another family adopted you, right? Asked. Well, I kind of escaped the orphanage. A few days later I found by Kenji and Akane Atanagi. They raised me all this time. As a gratitude, I started using their last name as mine. You could say they adopted me in a certain way. I see. I'm so sorry. If I hadn't done what I did, that would never have happened to you. You don't have to apologize. You did it thinking about the best for everyone. You would never have guessed that that would have happened. Even so, it's enough. Do not continue to torment yourself by what happened. The past is something that we can no longer change. The only thing we can do is move on and ensure that the future is what we want, said Yamikumo. Why, you are right. What are we going to do? It takes more than a single conversation to fix everything. Still, I think we managed to solve the most important one. It's already a little late. I will come another day to continue talking. If you agree, of course. Two would love that. But, what about Izumi? She deserves to know, said Inko. I know, but, for now, until we fix everything, it would be best to keep this between us, said Yamikumo. Okay, I'll be waiting then. Thanks, I should go. See you another day in Kasen. Thanks for the tea, said Yamikumo before leaving Mina's house. In the end, Kaminari finished with his food on his hair somehow. When Mina finished her story, all the girls started laughing. Kinokachan, I was wondering something. Is there something between you and Atanagi? Asked Tsuyu. This question made Kanoko blush. What? Why the question so suddenly? Simple curiosity. I always see you two quite together. You two always come to school together, added Momo. And when we leave, he always carries your things, added Mina. We are only friends also. When did this turn into an interrogation? Kanoko said while covering her face with her hands. After continuing to talk about different topics, it was time to sleep. All were asleep, except for one of them. Izumi still couldn't sleep. She wasn't used to this. Maybe a little water will help me, Izumi thought as she headed to the kitchen to get a glass of water, without her knowing that someone else was awake. After taking some water, Izumi was about to return but a voice interrupted her. Can't sleep? Huh, it was Mina. Yeah, I'm not used to this. You see, it's the first time I've ever done something like this, said Izumi. Why, you never did something like this with friends from school, asked Mina. No, I never had friends before Yue, said Izumi in a sad tone. What, weren't you friends with Bakugo? We were friends, but everything changed when she hesitated for a second. When I was diagnosed as quirkless. What, but you have a quirk, said a surprised Mina. Yais, it's complicated, look, I'll tell you, but please, don't say this to anyone. Only one other person knows about this, apart from my mother and now you, said Izumi. Okay, both girls seated in the sofa. It is somewhat complicated, so I will try to be as brief as possible. You see, I always had a quirk since I was 4 years old. What happens is that it was too powerful for my 4-year-old body. You saw how it hurt me. Now imagine that in a 4-year-old body. She started. Hence, my quirk stayed asleep, so to speak, until my body was strong enough to at least hold the power. She then looked at the floor. My quirk woke up in the entrance exam. If it hadn't been for that, I wouldn't have joined the UA. For a long time, I was quirkless and many people began to bully me about it, and nobody wanted to be friends with me. She was going to continue, but suddenly, 2 arms hugged her. It was Mina. Enough, I don't want to hear about that anymore. I don't care if you are quirkless or not, you are my friend, and I will make sure you experience everything you missed, Mina said with tears in her eyes. Izumi returned the hug with tears in her eyes. Thank you, she whispered. After a few minutes, they parted the hug. To increase our friendship, call me Mina from now on, said Mina with a smile on her face, but with some tears still in her eyes. Oh okay, Mina, said Izumi with a slight blush. Very well. I think I should also call you Izumi from now on. No, please, keep calling me Midori. I like that nickname. I think is cute, Izumi said, her blush growing stronger. Unknowingly, this made Mina blush a bit, only that her blush was purple rather than red. Oh okay, Midori. I think it would be better if we go back with the others. After this conversation, both girls return with the others. The day of practices. Train station. You all brought your suits, right, asked Aizawa. Remember that for now it is forbidden to wear your suits in public. But don't lose them either. Do not misbehave either, now go. Ida was about to get on his train, but was stopped by Izumi, who was followed by the rest of their friends. Ida-kun, if at any time you need something, please let us know. We are friends, right? Ida walked around with a smile on his face. Yes, I will. After that, he turned around and got on his train. Another lie and another fake smile, Kanoko asked, whispering to Yamikumo. Yes, it was the only thing Yamikumo said to later say goodbye and get on his train. Sir Night-Eye's agency. So here I am. There goes nothing, thought Yamikumo while entering the building. Upon entering, he found a familiar face, or rather, a known centipede. The man noticed him. Oh, it's you. I'm glad you remembered. Follow that corridor, Sir is waiting for you. By the way, my name is Centipter, said the centipede man. Thanks, said Yamikumo, then he followed the corridor to the door. Once he reached Sir Night-Eye's office, he took a breath and opened the door.